Game 2 of the Division 1 Grand Final Series between Sturt and Goodwood, just moments away from getting underway. Two traditional rivals, their clubs only separated by just a couple of kilometers, but it's West Beach at Bennett Field, the venue tonight. Sturt have a chance to win their second premiership in 3 years. Welcome to the broadcast, wherever you're watching at home. I'm Eric Ballnar, joined by longtime ABL player, SABL player, Team Australia player, Adelaide Giants coach, Michael Dunn. Dunny, thank you so much for joining me for the broadcast today.
Thanks, Eric. Good to be here for Game 2, and obviously these two teams are also in the charter together as well with the Super League as well. So that
it's
makes
the South.
It is the South. It's virtually the South. So they've spent a lot of time in the same dugout. And then obviously tonight they're in opposite dugouts.
And you see those records on screen. Goodwood finished 4th with 23 wins, 6 losses, and a draw. They were a game and a half behind Sturt, who won the minor premiership. It shows how tight the competition was all season long. And last night's game was very tight until it wasn't.
Yes.
It's probably the best way to put it. It was a 1-1 game going into the 5th. And then it was 14 hits and 12 runs, only 2 doubles throughout the game, and a 17-hit performance from Sturt. They scored 12 runs in a 17 at-bat inning. It was a little ridiculous, and that's what powered them to victory. It was a pretty crazy inning.
Yeah, it's not something I've seen at any level of baseball for a long, long time. So they got the hits when they needed. They found the gaps when they needed to. They had a couple of flares and a few things went their way, and 13 runs later, it was virtually shut the gate.
It ended up being a mercy rule 13-1 win in an inning that kind of took the air and the atmosphere out of what was a pretty amped up venue in here. But now a team gets to come back. Goodwood need to win tonight. They've got to throw the whole kitchen sink at them today because they don't have to play tomorrow if they don't win the game tomorrow. In a bounce-back game, how do you get your team, and especially a veteran Goodwood team, ready for this game?
Well, I think, first of all, in the end, it turned out to be a blessing for probably both clubs because they didn't then have to throw any more pitches than they needed to throw. So Wiggy shuts his pitching rotation down. Sturt shut their pitching rotation down as well, and they're virtually at full strength to go in Game 2 as well. Goodwood, if you look at a Goodwood veteran team, they know what they need to do. It's not the first time they've been in this situation. They trust their abilities to do what they need to do. They got a hitting lineup and a fielding lineup. They can certainly tie this up 1-0. And Sturt, on the other hand, will be going, well, let's go all out tonight and take it in 2 and go and celebrate.
Their fielding lineup, one of the best, or in fact the best in the competition, a .975 fielding percentage. And you mentioned the word veteran, and if you run down this lineup, which I'll do right now, Josh Cakebread, longtime ABL player. Jeremy Creswell, same thing, 174 ABL games. Riley Moore won a College World Series with Arizona. Dylan Child was an affiliated baseball player. He's been in grand finals, won grand finals, and played 3 years at the Adelaide Bite. Stephen Welsh, 284 games at the ABL level. Matt Hutchings, 3-year ABL player. Brendan Pett, ABL player. And Owen Hughes, he's won a grand final before. And then a second-year player, Brody Heaps. That's their batting lineup, let alone their starting pitcher, which is 46-year-old John Challenor. You want experience, this lineup is experience.
Oh, there's a lot of games there, isn't there? And you probably put it together with all the ABL games and Claxton Shield games and club games. There's probably 5,000 games in that lineup.
Maybe just from John Challenor alone.
Maybe from John Challenor alone. He's certainly thrown a lot by himself. But Chunky, as we all know him, he's a veteran. He's been around a long time. He doesn't overpower guys anymore, but he's got good off-speed pitches and he throws a pretty decent splitty, and he'll just get pitches off balance and hope that his infield and his outfield can make the plays and keep him in the game for the most of the night.
The guy warming up on the mound for Sturt is Josh Tyndall, and what a fantastic season he had. He's done this a couple years in a row for Sturt now, really emerged as their go-to guy in big games. An 11-1 record in the regular season. He had a .344 ERA over 70 innings. He's been impressive in competitions like the Super League. He's become one of South Australia's best pitchers.
Yeah, at club ball level, he's fantastic. He, again, throws a lot of strikes. And that's all he needs to do. He again has faith in his infield and his outfield to make the plays, and he throws strikes and they get outs and win a lot of games.
One of the things, talking to Sturt's coaching staff before the game, they noted that Goodwood's top 5 batters, and Cakebread, Creswell, Moore, Child, and Welsh, exceptional hitters. They were pretty much held off the board all of last night. This is a team that has every batter in their lineup batting over 300. He was wondering if basically they could do it 2 games in a row when the top 5 is as good as that.
Well, if they do, Sturt win.
It's as simple as that. It's a pretty good way, yeah.
So, and they'll know that. They would have gone home last night knowing that they didn't contribute to what they needed to get done to win the game. So they would have got up this morning ready to go, saying those top 5 guys have got to probably get somewhere between 5 and 10 hits between them. And if they don't, Sturt win.
And it'll be up to Josh Tyndall, who has the game ball right now in Game 2, trying to deliver Sturt their second premiership in 3 years, their second straight Grand Final Series win. It was canceled because of COVID last year. Josh Cakebread, the left-handed hitter, the savvy veteran, steps in, and we are almost ready to go in game number 2 of the Division I Baseball SA Grand Final. Tyndall delivers, and let's play some baseball. Over the plate for a first pitch strike. Defensively, this is how Sturt line up. Jackson Brebner-Russ, who started the game last night on the mound, he's at third base. Mitch Lightbody at shortstop. Tyler Chappell at second. Angus Roger at first. The catcher is Matt Macbeth. He had a pretty good game yesterday, Matt Macbeth. Settles in for the 1-1 count. This one flared out towards left field. Mitch Lightbody charging at that. Jordan McCardle will take it instead, and that is out number 1. Outfield is McCardle in left, Joyce in center, and Harry Nucky in right field.
Yeah, so good start there by Tyndall as well. So he, again, just threw strikes. And again, if he does that all night, gets Goodwood off balance, it could again open up pretty early. So Goodwood's top of the lineup needs to put some pressure on him early and make the infield make some plays.
Jeremy Creswell steps in. And Josh Tyndall, for the second straight batter, getting ahead with a strike, working ahead in those counts, going to be key for him.
Oh, absolutely. And if he gets ahead and keeps throwing strikes, he'll be tough. He gets his confidence up and it makes it hard for the Goodwood players to get hits.
Soft shot back to Tyndall. He underhands it over to Angus Roger at first, and it's 2 quick outs and a pretty good start for Sturt defensively.
No, perfect start for Tyndall there. That's exactly what he wanted to do, get the first 2 hitters out in 5 pitches. So he's done exactly what he needs to do, and now he comes up against Riley Moore.
Riley Moore hit .422 on the season, 6 home runs, 32 RBIs, slugged .759, had 9 walks. Didn't strike out all that much. It was a pretty dominating return back to the Division I level for Riley Moore. Earned him a spot on the Adelaide Giants this year. Not someone that you can just necessarily go right after. You got to be a little careful with him.
Yeah, you got to mix it up. You need to throw your off-speed pitches for strikes. So Riley's got a pretty good strike zone, and he knows what he can and can't get. And that pitch is a little down, so it's not a bad spot for Tyndall to be. You're not going to get hurt if you keep the ball down there all night. So if he stays down there, he'll be fine.
Tyndall factored majorly in that Sturt Premiership winning team 2 years ago now. Riley Moore driven to right field. That drops in front of the wall. Moore having to think at 2, but he'll have to scamper back. It was a good piece of hitting in the first hit of the ball game from Goodwood's number 3 hitter.
And really well played by Jamie Nucky at right field there, where he got the ball off the fence and got it in really quickly and held Riley to a single, where off the bat that probably looks like a sure double.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be rounding 2 for sure.
Yep, played very well by Nucky in right field.
Runner on first for Dylan Child. He's one of 3 regular players in Goodwood's lineup that batted over 400 for the year. Stephen Welsh, 441, Riley Moore, 422, and Dylan Child rounding that out at 403. Swings at the first pitch. Moving in for this is McCardle. He makes the play, and it's a relatively straightforward inning for Sturt defensively, keeping Goodwood off the board with their 1, 2, 3, 4 hitters.
So that's a good start there by Tyndall. 3 outs, no 1 hit, and no runs. So that's a great start by him, and his confidence will be up early that he's got out of an innings in probably 9 pitches.
Sturt's lineup is just as powerful as Goodwood's. There's no mistake about that. Here is how they will bat in order. Harry Nucky leads things off. Terrell Joyce batting second. Jordan McCardle had 4 hits and 4 RBIs yesterday, batting third. Jackson Brebner-Russ slots into the cleanup slot, batting fourth. Angus Roger fifth. Dylan Redding sixth. 8th, Mitch Lightbody, and Matt Macbeth, who's having a hell of a season and a really good multi-hit game last night. He's batting 9th. If Matt Macbeth and Mitch Lightbody are 8-9 hitters, it's a pretty good Division I lineup.
Yeah, they hit very deep, Sturt, and that's why they're one of the best teams in the competition. So they hit right down their lineup. They hit with a lot of power, and Goodwood needs to be ready to go here, or Sturt's confidence, as I said, is right up, and they'll be wanting to bust this open real early.
But the man on the mound is someone that you've got to play with for a little while, is John Challinor, a legend in the baseball South Australia circles. He's on the mound, by all reports, a hard-throwing pitcher in the 90s with the Adelaide Giants. He's 46 years old, making the start tonight. He was playing lower-level Division baseball up until a couple years ago when he worked his way back up to Division I, and here he is pitching in a grand final.
Yeah, as we all call him Chunky, and he's been Chunky ever since I've known him, which is probably 25 years now. So, and he's still playing. So, credit to him that he's still out here, and he just loves to compete. And yeah, you're right. He did throw 90. He probably doesn't throw 90 anymore, but he throws his spots now. Just works in and out. Has a 6 to 12 over the top curveball with a nasty little splitty that doesn't matter how old you are. If your splitty works, you get people out.
So Harry Nucky is the batter as Challinor delivers his first pitch. Jamie Nucky is Harry Nucky's father. Now, Jamie Nucky and John Challinor would have played together.
Yeah, I played with Jamie too. And coached Jamie at Sturt when I was at Sturt for 3 years as well.
I wonder what it would be like for John Challinor to stand on the mound and see your teammate's son go up against you.
You must think, wow, I'm probably got a few years on me here.
I mean, Darren Fidge was talking about how he played with Stephen Welsh's father, and he remembers Stephen Welsh as just a 5-6-year-old when Darren Fidge was, 19, 20 around the club, as it's a first at-bat walk.
And in saying that as well, John would have also played against Brett Macbeth, who is
Matt Macbeth.
Matt Macbeth's dad as well. So he has a lot of history here in players that he's playing against, and he's playing a lot of their kids. So it's an interesting concept, isn't it?
Terrell Joyce comes up to bat. He's someone that mashed the ball in the last half of this season. Came in January when he made his debut after serving 2 weeks quarantine, getting back in the country. 10 home runs, 38 RBIs, a .508 batting average. And he swings for the fences on that, and he goes right through it.
And that's virtually in half a season as well, wasn't it, Eric? So
20 games.
20 games, 10 bombs. It's not a bad way to go about your business.
He's been doing it for a while in this competition. This is his 5th season in the Baseball SA circles. Spent some time with Glenelg, then with West Torrens in the last 3 years with Sturt. And he rips one foul. So he's now become a pretty true Sturt club man. Yep.
Yeah, and he spends a fair bit of time in the off-season in Europe, I believe, as well. So he plays a bit over there. So he's pretty much an all year-round baseball player. So he stays in form and he stays fit and healthy and goes about his business.
Drafted in the 5th round by the Houston Astros back in 2012. He's the all-time Czech Extraliga home run leader.
Was that right? There you go.
So he hits home runs, doesn't matter what country he's on.
Doesn't matter what country. They fly out everywhere.
Challinor hugs the outside corner. It's a full count.
I think Chunky wanted that pitch there on that outside corner. It was pretty close, and Payne thought it was too far outside, called it ball 3.
Remarkably, John Challinor pitched a complete game, 5-hit, 1 earned run performance to get Goodwood to the grand final and the preliminary final versus Henley and Grange. He's already got a walk today, but he never had a batter reach 3 balls on a count all day, so except for the final batter.
Probably early here. Oh, no, he doesn't. I thought Nucky goes on that with none out early on, but decides to hang around, and Chunky walks the first 2 hitters. So he needs to bear down a bit now and go about his business.
Yeah, Sturt have a big opportunity early in this one with runners on first and second. And this is not the guy you want to face. Jordan McArdle was the danger bat last night, 4 for 5. He had a couple doubles and he had 4 RBIs.
Yeah, had a very good night. He had a good ABL season as well. So, and again, he'll be chomping at the bit right here to put a couple on the board and get Sturt moving.
Challenor finds the plate, strike 1.
I wouldn't expect McArdle to get too many fastballs here. He'll just throw off-speed pitches and try and get Geordie to roll over into a double play.
In a remarkable inning, they plated 12 runs, but a lot of it was soft contact and singles that just found the right spots.
Yep. When
you are facing somebody that maybe doesn't overpower you, does your approach at the plate change?
Not really. You're still looking to make good contact. You just need to be a little bit more patient and not so anxious to go out and get it. So let it come to you and just react to the pitch as it's thrown. So, and that's where Challenor was really good because he's got so many off-speed pitches. And as I said, I don't think McArdle will get many fastballs when he with his at-bats tonight.
Rides a little bit inside. Challenor can throw 5 or 6 different pitches. Riley Moore, his catcher, was kind of joking with him at the beginning of the year that he didn't have enough fingers to throw down to tell him what pitch to throw. What would Chunky be talking about here?
Well, he's not happy with Payne's strike zone at the moment. That's 2 pitches that he reckons he's got the corners, and both of them have been called balls. So he discreetly just tells Payne what he thinks. So.
Discreetly in front of everybody, walking right up to the...
Yeah.
He's a pretty quick mover, John Challenor. That one definitely inside. And quick mover by, I mean, he doesn't waste a lot of time between pitches. You can see he's already set, ready to go again.
That's just how he goes about it. So he doesn't like to get the hitters get set, and he tries to get them off speed. And there's
McArdle rolled to second. There's 1. There's 2. John Challenor gets a double play. That's the soft contact that Goodwood can induce with their pitchers. That's exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, and as we said, that off-speed pitch where Geordie has to stay back and drive it the other way probably gets a little bit anxious, gets out in front of it and just rolls over to Cakebread with a 4 to 6 to 3 double play, which is exactly what Challenor needed.
As a pitching staff, Goodwood's strikeout numbers aren't overpowering. They're not bad. They're just not a team that's going to go out and strike every guy out they face. They have to rely a lot on their defense.
Which is very good.
Which is very good. It's a good thing to rely on. Every time John Challenor throwing a strike, there's a couple junior teams from Goodwood, as this one is chopped out towards right field. Hughes makes the catch. Both teams unable to score a run in the first inning. We're underway in the Division I Grand Final. We'll see you after the break. Well, Sturt get runners on first and second with nobody out, but a double play quickly eliminated that threat, and then a soft fly ball to right field. One of the notable moments in that was John Challenor literally walking off the mound, coming towards the plate, talking to Payne Souter, Is that a veteran kind of move to try to take command of this game and control what you can control?
Well, you have to play it a little bit careful, because if you go overboard, Payne just tosses you for arguing balls and strikes. So I think more than anything, Chunky's just saying, hey, those corners are strikes, and if I don't get those strikes, then we probably can't win. So I need to get those corners.
Stefan Welsh comes up to bat to chance of "Let's go Welshie, let's go" from a whole heap of junior baseballers from Goodwood today. The whole club seems to be out cheering their side on. That's pretty nice to see.
Yeah, it's great at Clubland to have this many people out here. It's a fantastic atmosphere and a lot of support from all the club people and players and kids that are out here watching, who aspire to be these guys in years to come, right?
Sturt and Goodwood both decking out their respective grandstands. They've kind of been allocated with balloons of their team colors. Very familiar with each other. This is the local derby. Here's the pitch. Stefan Welsh flares it out towards left field. That one will drift foul. Stefan Welsh, the all-time Adelaide Bite games leader in the modern-day ABL. He's behind 0-2 to Tyndall. Hit up the middle. Light body, gathers, fires, out number one. Much like last night, the start we're off to, not a lot of hard hit balls.
No, yeah, and you expect that early in grand finals. There's a bit of nerves, and people are a little bit anxious to try and do things they normally wouldn't do in the start of games. So, yeah, it'll slow down a little bit, and guys will have better at bats. But at the moment, the pitchers are doing the right thing and throwing strikes and getting outs.
So when you're playing in a grand final, is there ever a moment where you really start to feel like, yep, we're in the game now? Is that kind of what you're looking for?
Oh, you want it from the first pitch. You want to dominate straight away. So you first go up there, you want to get on base, you want to move guys around, you want to get on the board early and put pressure on the opposition. So the longer it goes into the game, there's a lot of times when an opportunity or something happens that's beyond your control, where if it's early on, you've got enough time to do something about it, and later there's, you might not, the game's over, and we walk off from something minor that in the early innings of the game probably doesn't mean so much, but later in the game it means a lot.
It's a really good point, as we saw that a couple times yesterday from both teams. Matt Hutchings takes one on the arm. I think he had a hit by pitch yesterday, too.
Yeah, he did.
It's a really interesting point, though, because a pitch that just gets away from Tyndall comes back to hit Matt Hutchings. If he comes to score here, that little thing ends up making a huge difference. In grand finals, all those tiny things are magnified even more.
Yeah, and in the second innings, it probably doesn't magnify as much as it would in the 8th or 9th.
For sure.
Right? So it's a you get over it here and you try and get it out. In the 8th and 9th, you tighten up a little bit and things become a little bit more interesting.
Hutchings is a bit of an aggressive base runner. 12 stolen bases on the year. His brother Nick led the competition in stolen bases.
This year.
I think it was 32 stolen bases, I want to say.
32.
I'm going to pull up the number for you somewhere in my mess of notes. Grounded to short, misplayed. Throw across the diamond, not in time. And there might be the miscue that Goodwood are looking for. They've got runners on first and second with just one out.
And that's where that ball just bobbles in front of Mitch. Mitch just needs to take that step forward, pick it up on the half volley, and he probably turns a pretty easy double play. But Bob's just in front of him, hits him in the palm, and falls away from him, and he can't get the play at first in time. So now you got runners at first and second with one out.
And Matt Hutchings does have a bit of speed, so you'd think that base hit or anything, a base hit to the outfield would likely score him, or at least make for an interesting play at the plate.
And again, it's early on in the game, you probably do send him to try and put some pressure on and score a run, where later in the game, in the 8th and 9th, he may not because of the situation of the game. So it's interesting to see what they'll do here. I think they'd probably send Hutch to try and get him on the board and get rolling.
Owen Hughes, the batter. Sending runners when to do that has always been something that is interesting to me. Michael Dunn, you stand at third base in the Australian Baseball League season, as it's a 1-1 count coming to Owen Hughes. Check swing, but he was over the plate anyways for a strike. How do you decide when to send a runner? I remember talking to Andrew Scott about this, who used to coach at third base for the Adelaide Bites, saying he likes to send them more often than not because a lot has to go right for you to get thrown out at home.
Yeah, again, it's situational and score.
This slips away, and a couple miscues has put 2 runners in scoring position and importantly eliminates the double play threat. Sorry.
No, so what you're saying, you're always concerned about the score as well. So early on, you'd send guys to try and get in front. If you have an innings where you score 3 or 4 or 5, you would send them more and more to put more and more pressure on. If they throw someone out at the plate, they throw someone out at the plate because you've scored 4 runs. If you're 3-2 down with runners at first and second and the tying run at the plate in the 8th innings and it may be bang bang, you may not send them because you blow it up at the plate. So it's a very situational, pitch by pitch, worked out whether you're going to do it or whether you're not. So
Brandon Pett at second, reached on the error. Owen Hughes standing at the plate with Hutchings at third. Hughes bites at the off speed, and it's a key strikeout for Josh Tyndall. Makes getting that third out just a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's a very key out there. I mean, you just need to probably put the infielders playing back as well, so you probably only need to put the ball into play and score a run there. So Owen can't get it done, and now we go to the 9-hole hitter, and hopefully Tyndall keeps throwing strikes and makes it interesting.
The 2020 Rookie of the Year. He's got some speed, rips at the first pitch. That goes foul, but it puts Tyndall ahead early in the at-bat.
And this is where, as Macbeth as a catcher, needs to be really aware what's going on and make sure he gets down and blocks balls that are thrown in the dirt if they happen to be there, so the ball doesn't go to the backstop and score a very easy run without much happening.
A couple miscues. It was an error and then a pass ball put 2 runners in scoring position, and a miscue would certainly score a run here. 1-1 count to Heaps. And a big swing and a miss. All sorts of sounds coming from around the ballpark now. There's drums at the softball grand final, which is people, you can look down the line, is lined all the way around the field. That's between Sturt and Hills. You can watch that one on Spacequake Sports as well if you want to channel surf the Spacequake Sports channels today. Outside pitch 2-2. The Saturday night grand final night, always a fun atmosphere at West Beach. The car park absolutely rammed. I've seen cars parked in places that definitely should not be parked in places.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room out there tonight, is there? So it's an interesting night, which is great.
2-2 count. 2 runners on, 2 out. Heaps over towards third. Brebner Russ makes the play, and they get out of the jam. They hold Goodwood scoreless, and it looked like Brebner Russ just made sure that ball was gripped correctly.
Yeah, that looked like it hit the edge of the lip on the infield there, and he just got a glom on it. So a good play in the end by Jacko to pick it off that lip. It could easily have just shot through and gone into the outfield and scored 2 runs. So he made a great play there to get the out and keep the score 0-0. Bottom of the second.
Keeps it tight. We were saying a big grand final day earlier today. There were 2 grand finals played on these diamonds. West Torrens played Southern Districts in the Division 3 grand final. I believe West Torrens came away with that one. And then Goodwood, their Division 2 team, defeated Southern Districts in the Division 2 grand final right before this one. So Goodwood, if they can win today, they have a chance at completing the double in terms of the Division 1 and 2 championships.
Yeah, which is hard to do. It's not easy to do. You have players playing across both grades, and it makes it hard to work out your rosters and different things. So to win in both grades would be a feather in their cap if they could get that done. So, but certainly looking to mess that up for them. So,
well, players that featured in the Goodwood Division 1 side this year, players like Freddie Aguiar, players like Tom Fiebig, who's on the roster tonight. They would have been up and down between it. Peter Pake. A lot of different players that featured in this Div 1 side. It's almost the, if you're thinking Sandful or footy, if you're just joining us here, it's almost the reserves team.
Yeah, well, that's virtually what it is, isn't it? So, and that's the strength of the club, though. They can bring guys up and play both grades and still be competitive at both. You know, when you've got a Phoebe and those guys playing Division 2, your club's pretty strong, right? So, yeah, it's a credit to them how they've run their club, and they've been competitive for a long time, and so has Sturt, obviously. So these two clubs will be strong for a long period of time to come.
Angus Roger, as far as position players go in the modern day ABL, just the second most games played or games represented, the Adelaide professional team after Stephen Welsh. He'd rank in the top 10, certainly all time, if you go back to the 1990s. A little bit different back then. There were a few more games played in the season. In the competition now, both teams comps have had 11 years. Grounded over, Creswell makes a diving play across the diamond. That was some pretty work from Jeremy Creswell. We'll see if we have that on replay. He had to make a bang-bang play.
Makes hard plays look easy, Cressy. So he gets it on the backstop there on a slide down onto his leg. One hops it across. Roger, not the fastest guy in the world, and picked it first by base by Childs for an easy out in the end.
Yeah, and that was one that, you know, even if he just blocked that down, it probably wouldn't be called an error because it was a pretty nice play just for him to get there.
That's exactly right.
Last night, those kind of soft contact balls just found a way through the infield for Sturt. Tonight, on two different occasions, they're going right towards a fielder, or at least in their vicinity.
For now. For now, yeah. Long way to go. We'll see what happens.
Jeremy Creswell, a fantastic season. He wasn't the shortstop of the year. That went to Darcy Berry because I think he hit like .424 on the season, and a very well-deserved honor for him. But Creswell, one of the defensive players of the season, recognized at the Caps Medal Award night because he only made a couple of errors all season long, which is really hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, Cressy's been one of those guys for many, many years, so he's got multiple all-star team selections and probably just misses out just.
Dylan Ridding chopped over towards Child. He knocks it down. It's going to have to be a close play. Throw back to first. He didn't quite glove it. So Child knocked it down, but the ball squirted out towards the right field line, and Dylan Ridding is going to reach. I'll be interested to see how this one is scored.
Yeah, interesting. Probably in the big leagues it goes down as a hit, but probably here it goes down as a hit, as an error. So I probably should have been picked by Dylan at first base in the end, and I would say that would go down as an error.
Yeah, the hit hasn't gone up on the scoreboard that we're looking up. They don't put the errors up sometimes on these scoreboards. This one hugs the corner. He wasn't getting that pitch in the first inning. He's getting it now.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? You say something nice to the umpire. Well, let's say he said something nice to the umpire, and now he seems to be getting in that outside corner.
Flared down the right field foul territory line. He's quickly ahead 0-2. This is Mitch Lightbody up to bat, a dangerous guy to have. He's bat second, third, fifth. He's bounced up and down the lineup all year. 2 home runs, 18 RBIs at .309 average in the season, but entering the grand final series, just 2 for 16. But Mitch is a bat that can get hot, especially in the Division 1 level.
Yeah, and Challoner's way in front here again. So again, probably not a lot of fastballs will be seen right now. He'll throw pitches that he wants Lightbody to swing at that are probably out the zone, or splitty down in the dirt and try and turn a double play.
A lot of pressure on John Challoner, the 46-year-old veteran arm. Played all throughout the 90s with the Adelaide Giants. Affiliated with the LA Dodgers. And now still pitching the Division 1 level. 1-2. Just trying to keep Dylan Ridding, who's got a little bit of speed on the base pass, honest. One-two count. Lightbody chopped up the middle again. They'll step on the bag for one, and they make the play for two. the second double play in as many innings, and Sturt also held scoreless. The infield does it again. Here's a take a look at the replay.
So good split finger fastball there by Chunk that gets the ground ball. Cakebread goes across, makes a routine double play for him and gets a double play, gets him out of innings, and we stay at 0-0.
We're through 2. We'll be back with the top of the lineup for Goodwood. Beautiful night at West Beach. Division 1 Grand Final. Sturt leading the series 1-0. They're scoreless through 2 with Goodwood, and we're going back to the top of the lineup. An eerily kind of still night. The wind's picked up a little bit, but the last 2 nights have been very uncharacteristic for West Beach. Josh Cakebread, the leadoff batter, batting for his second time today. He flew out to left field to start the game back in the first inning.
And this is where Josh's mindset, he'll be, he made a good double play there. He really wants to get on base here and put some pressure on Tyndall in the infield and try and get Goodwood on the board.
Yeah, they've only had the 1 hit, and it came with 2 outs. Riley Moore, the other was a hit by pitch and an error. Both teams with a couple errors, or with 1 error each in the game. You can see at the top of the screen all those junior players from Goodwood. Cakebread chases, strike 2. I love also hearing all the kids chanting the players' names. Let's go Cakey. It's a good sign that they know who all these players are, because everyone at Goodwood especially, they're quite involved with all levels of baseball there.
Yeah, they certainly know who their players are, and they aspire to be those guys in years to come.
Cakebread to right field, and he's got a leadoff single, just what the doctor ordered for Goodwood. Just look, he sort of stayed with it in the at-bat and laced one to right field.
Yeah, he got a pitch in and turned on it and just hit a nice little line drive into right field there to start the innings off. And that's important. It's probably, from last night tonight, I don't think Goodwood have got a lot of leadoff guys on with none out. So that might be probably the first or second time.
This one up the middle. Nice play. They get 1. Can they turn 2? They might have, as Cakebread is thrown out at second. Creswell will reach on the fielder's choice. They might have got lucky that the ball kind of delayed when it skipped off the mound. We'll get a look at this on the replay.
Yeah, I think they did get unlucky there, because that looked like it was going to be a hit up the middle, and it popped up, and Mitch could get across in time to make the play at second base. He made a really good play there. So that was, and they almost turned a double play as well. So
not a great break for Goodwood, but Riley Moore, he's already got a hit today. Another big game player, Riley Moore. His family will be watching in California. Riley almost an Aussie now. He's been here for a while. Wife, Australian, lives in, he's an Adelaide boy now, Riley Moore.
Part of the furniture, I think.
When you stick around for a few years like me, you're now just here. You're just an Adelaide guy.
That's it.
0-1 count. Moore seems to have a bit of a presence when he's standing there on that left side.
Yeah, he knows his strike zone really well as well, so he'll just be looking for a pitch he can drive in a gap somewhere here. Krezi can run a little bit as well, so they get a gap, they might be able to score a run, but Riley won't swing at anything that he doesn't think he can drive, so it's a good challenge here for Tyndall to see what he can do.
Back-to-back pitches outside. These teams not separated by much at all this season.
It's a good pitch count here for Riley. He sits here and tries to drive the ball hard somewhere.
Moore lifts it to right field. It probably won't have the distance. Nucky settles under it. It's out number 2. Just missed it.
Just missed it. Good old West Beach gets it again.
These teams both play on smaller diamonds than the main diamond in South Australia here at West Beach. This is the home of the Adelaide Giants. These teams in the season, Sturt hold a 2-1 edge. They won 7-6, lost 4-3, and then won 12-7. Josh Tyndall, the pitcher of record in the last time they played in the regular season. Obviously, last night they played a game. Dylan Child, the batter. 0-1 count.
Oh,
Creswell running, slides in there. Looked like it kind of caught Sturt by surprise.
no, it looked like he delayed. He delayed. Then, if we can get a replay on that, he takes his normal secondary lead, and the catcher stays down instead of coming up thinking there's no play. The middle infielders stay where they are. He delay steals. So it's a good play. It catches everyone off guard. See, catcher's not even thinking about the guy running because he takes an ordinary secondary instead of taking off straight away, and that then makes the catcher not realize that he's going to be running.
And crucially puts a runner in scoring position for Goodwood. What can they do with 2 outs though? All it takes is one base hit and Riley Moore might score. Jeremy Creswell, I should say, might score. Riley Moore, it'd be remarkable if he could score here.
Yeah, any ball in the outfield here, they're certainly going to be sending Cressy and trying to get on the board. And that might
hit hard. Does it find a gap? 2 players dive at it. Creswell hustling around third. Dylan Child has given Goodwood the lead. I'm fumbling over the words, but that doesn't matter. Goodwood's in front. Clutch hitting with 2 outs. That had 2 players dive for it. Lightbody and Brebner Russ both made a play. Look at the replay. There's 1, there's 2. And Dylan Child on second base with a single. Brings up Stephen Welsh with a runner in scoring position.
A good base running there by Childs too. Ball comes off Roger's glove, and just falls away from him a little bit, and he takes an extra base and puts himself in another scoring position for Goodwood.
Big moment for Stephen Welsh. Takes the first pitch over the plate. That ball very reminiscent of one that Sturt got like 14 of last night.
Well, that's exactly right. There was a few of those, wasn't there? So maybe the tide's turned a little bit for now. So
if you didn't catch the game last night, it was a 12-run inning in the 6th and no hard hit balls at all.
No, 17, 18, was it 17 or 18 hits
17
the plate?
in the inning.
It was a good innings for Sturt and obviously opened the game up. Again, Welsh should just be looking for a pitch here to drive in a gap and score another run. He won't care how he does it, as long as he can score Childs at second base and put Goodwood 2-0 up and put more pressure on Sturt going into the bottom of the third.
Again, just outside. It's a 3-1 count. He's certainly not going after Welshie.
No, he's probably just overthrowing a little bit now. He's you get to that, sometimes you get to that stage where you try too hard. So
well, there's some pressure on him now.
There is some pressure on him, and this is an interesting pitch right here, 3-1 with an empty base, probably something that's not close to the zone. So there you go, ball 4.
Just outside, it's 2 runners on. That'll bring Matt Hutchings to the plate. Hutchings in the season hit .390. He had 32 RBIs. That was tied for the team lead with Riley Moore. He had a big season with 12 stolen bases. He was rewarded by being named to the Team of the Year for Division I in the outfield.
Yeah, Hutch had a really good year, and as I said last night, he changed clubs for the sole reason that he wants to try and win premierships. So, and here's an opportunity for him to do that. So, and he's improved his baseball over the last couple of years, and reward from it by making the All-Star team and having a really good year, hitting in the high 300s.
A player that's been on the Giants, but just sort of on the outside of those starting lineups of the Giants for, I guess, the last couple years before not playing on the team this year. But he's still a young player, still learning his craft. He's still got improvement to work on. He hit .390, but he's still working on things.
And he's only 21. You don't realise he's only 21. So he's been around a while as well, and he's still very young, and he's got plenty of time to improve.
Hutchings fouls that away. He was previously at Southern Districts Baseball Club. His brother Nick still there.
So needs to have a tough at bat here, 1-2 the count. So he needs to protect his zone and put the ball into play and put some pressure on the field to get an out.
Tyndall gets him to chase. It's a key strikeout, but Goodwood do score 1 run. It's an RBI single from Dylan Child, but importantly, they do hold them just to 1 run.
That's exactly right. So you don't mind giving up 1, and you got to score to win anyway. So you can't win 0-0. So to come out of that with just 1 is fantastic for Sturt, and they'll put some pressure on now, I think, as well. So they'll have some good at bats this inning, try and score it up or try and get in front.
Well, it's the 7, 8, 9 batters for Goodwood coming up in the 4th inning when they bat again. They're having a lot longer at bats, getting guys more on base than what they managed to do versus Jackson Brebner Russ last night, who pitched phenomenally for Sturt, but that's a good sign for Goodwood's bats.
Yeah, again, it's all about throwing strikes. The guys in both lineups have got good plate presence, and they know their strike zones, and if you don't throw strikes, you'll just walk guys. So you got to throw your spots and try and get outs.
You take a look at the grandstands. That grandstand you see on your left-hand side of the screen, that holds about 60, 70 people. It's almost full. And then, about the grandstand right next to it is pretty good capacity for Sturt. Sturt with a huge turnout that has really occupied the right field line. And then down on the decks down the left field line, you have Goodwood in the first base or the third base grandstand, and then in the home plate grandstand. That seems to where Goodwood has taken over. It's kind of a club divide up the middle.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's how it always going to be. So it's a good crowd for a club ball grand final, and there's lots of people here and out supporting baseball in South Australia, which is fantastic.
We thank you very much for joining us wherever you might be. Fans from all over the world tuning in, we know. Even in Florida.
Well, yeah, we just got a little text. We'll have a shout out here for our ABL coach, Chris Adamson, who politely just sent a message to say hello. Well, let's just say that's what I'll say that he said. He probably didn't say that as quite nicely as I said it, but we hope you're going all right, mate. We know you're only just got over there, and you're getting ready for spring training to take on your job as the high able coach for the New Jersey team with the Phillies. So we say hello to you and wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, there are some people in the South Australian baseball community that are starting to do some pretty big things internationally. Curtis Mead, South Australian player, he's affiliated with the Rays. Everybody keen to see where he gets placed. Chris Adamson, just one of 2 Australians that are managing a minor league team this year as the bench boss, you could call it.
Yep.
He's with the Jersey Shore Blue Claws.
That's correct.
In the Philadelphia Phillies system.
So he had that same job last year as well, but obviously because of COVID.
Macbeth down the line. This could be tricky. Challoner scoops, fires, makes the play. John Challoner didn't panic. He just got the job done.
That's a wily veteran right there. So you don't panic in that play. Just pick up and get the out. So yeah, Chris had the same job last year, but last year they were their low A ball team, and this year they've changed a promotion. A promotion without getting a promotion, as they say, right? So now this year they're their high A ball team, and he's really looking forward to taking on that role and seeing whether he can move through the ranks over the years. So it's fantastic for him, and it's good for baseball in South Australia that the products are going through the processes, and the relationships between the Phillies and the Adelaide Giants is improving year by year, and they're supporting us by sending players out to play for us.
And some of those players that were sent out might be on that team in High A that Chris Adamson will coach. You might see a player as Nucky takes this pitch over the plate for strike 2, like Logan O'Hoppe, who is an import player that's sent out here. He had a home run in a spring training game the other day, but some pretty good players that are getting better every year the Phillies are sending out to the Giants.
Yeah, and that's great, and we obviously love to see that. We like to see the guys that come out and play for us go and be successful at major league level, and we feel proud that we're part of their process coming through South Australia to do that.
Jack O'Loughlin, another affiliated Aussie. He's recovering from an injury, but he's affiliated with the Tigers. He's played A-ball there. 1-2 pitch. Chopped down the line. Dylan Child doesn't make any mistakes on this one. It's another easy out.
And then recently, as we spoke last night, to Riley Yateman, who just signed with the Padres as well. So there's some good products coming out of South Australia. So
Josh Tolles at AAA right now?
Correct. The programs work, and we'll continue to put those in place and keep trying to get guys going into college, and obviously signing with major league teams as well. And it proves that the people involved here and the coaches and everyone else that's involved do the right thing to get these guys into the right positions to do those things.
Nucky, the batter. Two outs on the board. It's been a pretty clean game so far from John Challoner. This hit hard. It gets through. It's the first hit of the ball game, and Harry Nucky's going to get it. First hit of the ball game for Sturt, I should say. So Nucky goes to first. He's reached twice on the day now.
That's a good at-bat by Nux there. Just patient, waiting for a pitch that he can drive, not swinging. That's the thing with Challoner. He just picks and picks and picks and gets you to swing at bad pitches. So good at-bat there by Nucky. Got a pitch in his zone, swung it, hit the ball hard, and got a hit to left field.
First hit they got off John Challoner. They put the ball in play. Challoner hasn't struck anybody out yet, but he's also got 2 double plays. He's allowed a walk and a hit, and they've reached on an error. So nothing hit hard yet, which is what would be encouraging. Yep,
no, that's exactly, and that's what he does. He just fiddles with the corners and gets you to swing at his pitches, and that's how he gets you out. He won't get a lot of strikeouts, but he'll get a lot of ground ball outs.
If there's somebody that can hit the ball hard, though, off of pretty much anybody, it might be this guy up to bat, Terrell Joyce.
Yep, certainly had a fantastic year, so they'll be fine here and make sure that he doesn't leave one out of the yard.
Hit a massive walk-off home run over West Torrens in the preliminary final to help him get there. He's hit 3 home runs in postseason play in his 4 games he played entering the grand final, on top of the 10 he hit in 20 in the regular season.
Yeah, he's certainly a danger.
Challoner will try to toy with him. He's thrown a couple different pitches already in this at-bat, but brings the count full. Harry Nucky, who has a little bit of speed, will probably get a good jump on this on the payoff pitch. There goes Nucky. Fouled away. Now the light's starting to change at West Beach, too. Some dark clouds rolling in the back. It was raining earlier in the day. Terrell Joyce with a walk. And that'll set the stage for Jordan McCardle. He grounded into a double play on his first at-bat, but yesterday 4 for 5, the 2019 Grand Final Series MVP. the Adelaide Giants key player. He's been number 2 or 3 in batting in the last couple seasons on that Giants squad. He's becoming a lot more consistent. What have you liked from what you've seen from Geordie develop in the last couple years?
Well, we had the thing with Geordie too. We had to find a spot as well. So we signed Rickson, so Rickson becomes your regular everyday first baseman. So
that was 2 years ago, yeah.
Correct. So he needed to find somewhere to play because it's hard to be a permanent DH. Correct. So
hits this along the infield. Cakebread dives on top of that, and he gets the out. So Sturt are retired. We're through 3 innings. Goodwood lead 1-0. Eric Ballner, Michael Dunn here with you at the Baseball South Australia Complex. It's Bennett Field, the home of the Division 1 Grand Final. Sturt leads the series 1-0. It's a 1-0 game. Dylan Child scored the lone run, or drove in the lone run, I should say, in the 3rd inning. We're now into the 4th. Josh Tyndall still on the mound. Brendan Pett reached on an error in his first at-bat, chops this one foul to lead things off the middle innings.
So Goodwood again here will just try and put some pressure on. Again, you see what happens with having the leadoff runner on. Right, they score a run. I mean, it wasn't Cakebread that actually scored the run, but having a runner on with none out just puts so much more pressure on your fielding team if you can get guys on with none or one out. And as I said, I think it's probably the only time in the last night and tonight that I think they actually let off with a hit and got a runner on base with none out.
And they end up scoring. Just one of their 2 runs they've scored during this series so far. Early days. They've only played 10 innings, but 2 runs in 10 innings ain't so much.
Yep, correct.
Sturt have done a very good job, and it's really been off the arms of their pitchers. Jackson Brebner-Russ, phenomenal in Game 1. 8 strikeout performance. That slips up high and hits Brendan Pett, and that is a leadoff runner. Maybe in an unconventional way, but it still counts the same.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So
Owen Hughes struck out in his first at-bat. He's had a pretty productive season, Owen Hughes. He bat .309 with a .337 on-base percentage.
A good pick there by Macbeth. That ball in the dirt easily could have got to the backstop there. It was very well picked up. That would have moved the runner up, certainly.
He had a couple good picks last night.
Yep.
A very veteran Goodwood team. Hughes, hard hit ball. That's going to trickle up to the left field wall. Owen Hughes thinking too. There'll be a play into the diamond, but with no outs. Goodwood have 2 runners in scoring position.
And that's an interesting play there. Brebner-Russ playing up virtually on the edge of the grass. So what happens there? He can't get that ball down the line. So thinking that Hughes is going to maybe bunt or put one down there to move a runner over, not in his normal position at third base, and the ball gets past him.
Yeah, big play. Dylan Ridding played third base last night Jackson Brebner-Russ, though, a bat that you need to have in the lineup somewhere. Paul Holmes played, had a couple hits in his first A-grade game. But now a big spot. Brody Heaps up. He's got 2 runners in scoring position.
And they put a bit of pressure on the young kid here. They've pulled the infield in to make him hit the ball in the outfield to try and score a run. They'll just try and stop getting another run here by having the infield up.
He hits the ball, goes right to Brebner-Russ at third, settles, gathers, zips it across the diamond, and exactly the reason they bring the infield in, it was able to hold the runner and retire the out.
Yeah, if the fielder's back there, and I mean, Petty's not the quickest guy in the world anyway, so maybe he doesn't score on that ball anyway, but having the infield up and putting the pressure on the younger kids to put the ball in the outfield to score a run, exactly what Sturt needed there and got the out they needed to get.
They're keeping the infield relatively in again, but it's Josh Cakebread up to bat. He's 1 for 2. He had that base hit.
And Josh's mindset here is nothing but hitting the ball in the outfield and scoring another run. If he gets out, he doesn't really care. He just needs to put another run on the board for Goodwood.
Yeah, fly ball would do.
Yep, that's all you want to do.
This outside.
He'll give himself up to score another run, right? So whatever you need to do to score a run, if he gets a hit, it's a bonus, but just score another run. But they probably score 2 if he gets a hit anyways. You can see Hughes is way off there at second base because the infield's up, so there's no one holding runners on, and he'll probably score easily if the ball goes in the outfield for a hit anyway.
Josh Cakebread from the leadoff spot had 31 RBI on the season. A .470 on-base percentage.
Yeah, so he's due too. He got to hit his last at bat, and he'll be chomping at the bit here to just hit the ball in the outfield and pick up a run.
Cakebread just on top of that a little bit. It's chopped towards the pitcher. Cakebread doesn't even have to run as hard as he did because Tyndall couldn't make the play, but probably because Cakebread was hustling down the line, but it's bases loaded.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe Tyndall didn't have a grip on the ball. I thought he had a play there for most of that, and I think he's picked the ball up and not been able to grab the seams, and he, instead of throwing it away, he's held onto it. So yeah,
he double clutched it.
Yeah, it looked like he couldn't get the grip on the ball there, and smart in the end that he just didn't throw it away. And
yeah, because if that goes away, it's 1 run, maybe even 2 runs, depending how that bounce goes. Ball hit towards short. Can they turn 1? There's 1, and he's out. They've turned 2. Goodwood fans don't like it. Sturt fans love it. They get out of a jam with a crucial double play.
Yeah, great play there by the middle infielders of Sturt, of Chappell there, and Lightbody made a great double play to get the out and get him out of the innings without giving up any runs at all. So that puts the pressure now back on Goodwood, where they think they're going to score runs and they don't.
The play over at first just looks like he just got him. Andrew Bell standing right there, but how's that? Runners on second and third with nobody out, and Goodwood can't capitalize. That is one that might come back to hurt him.
Yeah, we'll soon find out, I think. So, yeah, it's Cressy probably a little bit anxious there in that at-bat going after that first pitch, but probably thought he had something he could drive in the outfield and rolled over on it in the end, and Sturt make a good double play to get out of the innings without a run scoring.
And now the middle of the lineup coming up for Sturt: Jackson Brebner-Russ, Angus Roger, Dylan Ridding. John Challenor still on the mound. He's pitching very well. He doesn't have a strikeout yet, but it's all been soft contact. Issued a couple walks. Someone reached on an error, and he's allowed just the 1 hit, and that is through 3 innings. Goodwood have a couple pitchers available for tonight as you take a look at the grandstand there. There's Sturt. Massive support from all of their club coming down here. You saw Chloe Roger, Angus's wife, decking out the grandstands before the series. I know that a bunch of the players' partners printed out heads, like from Office Works, cardboard cutouts of each of the players that they've been holding up during the game.
They're very passionate, and that's what's fantastic about club baseball. They're passionate, and a lot of family orientation at the club, so they do everything they can to support their boyfriends and husbands and wives and all sorts of stuff now with women's baseball as well. So it's a fantastic concept, and going from strength to strength.
Ball over the plate. Strike 1 called. Challenor, a fast mover, facing Jackson Brebner-Russ, who was arguably the player of the game last night with his great pitching performance. I know they scored 13 runs, but they really only needed 2 because Jackson Brebner-Russ was so excellent on the mound.
Yeah, he was fantastic last night. 9 strikeouts. in the 7 innings, he pitched to score 1 run, and he was certainly dominant in his role he played last night for Sturt.
And you felt like Jackson brought it from pitch number 1 that he threw on the day.
Yeah, he started straight away throwing strikes, hitting the strike zone, had that little sinker going, and Goodwood struggled to get it.
He was runner-up in the Caps medal votes, but he swings through that one, now going 0 for 2 on the day.
There's that big 6-12 or 12-6 curveball that Challenor throws, and it sort of freezes you because you think it's up, and then all of a sudden it just breaks hard down into the zone, and he's got many a hitter out with that pitch over the years, I can assure you.
He's won a couple Caps medals, John Challenor. Multiple premierships.
He spent a couple of seasons in Melbourne too, playing for the Monarchs as well in the old days as well. So he abandoned the nest and went and played over there, and we ended up playing against him, which was always interesting.
This one rides up high, 1-1 count versus Angus Roger. Yeah, certainly a guy that knows the game as well as anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Roger swings through that. Again, he's mixing things up. He's setting guys up to chase.
Oh, absolutely. But that's what he does. As I said, he just picks the corners. He makes you swing at his pitches. He doesn't throw pitches that you can hit.
I wonder what it would be like if John Challenor, you know, he's 46 years old now. He obviously has to rely on a lot different tools than what he had to rely on in, 1993 when he was affiliated.
Yep.
If the 46-year-old experienced John Challenor now could pitch in the 1993 body.
Oh, he probably gets to the big leagues. If that's the case. So,
but you can say that about anyone with more experience. Of course, that's going to help.
But you niggle your corners now, and you have more command on what you do. He certainly would have gone. He certainly would have gone a long way to getting pretty close to where he needed to be.
I mean, the fact that he's 46 and playing this top level is quite incredible. But what makes it even more incredible is that he took some years off of playing top-level baseball, and then he had to work his way back to this. It was a comeback for him.
Yeah, well, he probably didn't play this level of baseball for 10 years, longer maybe. So, and that's some of these guys, 46 with him in Fiji as well. So they stay fit, they stay active, and John's part of the fire force as well. So he obviously has to stay in shape, and he does very well at that, and just a competitive beast. So he'll do everything he can to stay at the highest level as he can, and he loves it. That he wouldn't be out here if he didn't. So he's hungry to try and help him win a flag.
Well, just as we were talking at the start of the inning, no strikeouts yet for John Challenor. He's not really a strikeout pitcher. He's just struck out Jackson Brebner, Russ, and Angus Roger back-to-back.
There you go. He's starting to get into a rhythm. And
but he's setting everybody up still.
Yep, and that's exactly, he'll do that all night. He'll, and if he was allowed, he'd probably throw 200 pitches as well. So it's...
Well, he pitched a complete game versus Henley and Grange to get them here.
Yeah, which was amazing last week, wasn't it? He one hitter as well, wasn't it, I think?
He allowed 5 hits. 5 hits, but he only had a batter get to 3 balls on one occasion. It was the final out of the game.
Amazing, isn't it?
But if he's locating that first pitch for a strike, then he's going to allow himself to start to make guys chase.
Yep, no, that's exactly right. And if he keeps getting that out, if he gets that outside corner pitch called all night, it makes it even tougher for hitters to hit. So because you do get that little bit of help from the umpire to get that outside corner that if you don't get, sometimes you don't get outs.
And now it's forcing guys like Dylan Ridding on that just to protect the plate.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Goodwood got a good start yesterday from Liam Scott, who pitched 5 innings and just allowed the 1 earned run, a younger player on this squad. Dylan Ridding hits this ball as hard as we've seen all day. It's just going to be a single, but a good at-bat from Dylan Ridding. He's aboard for the 2nd time on the night.
So again that's that pitch where he gets a pitch he can handle and hits the ball into a gap. So the pitches before that are that niggle on the outside, then he gets a ball middle in and drives it into left center. So this is where you have to be patient with Challenor. If you're not patient, he'll get you out 9 out of 10 times. If you're patient, you'll get hits when you need to and and open the doors for Sturt to score some runs.
First pitch swing from Mitch Lightbody. That's almost as hard a hit ball as we've seen all series, actually.
Yeah, pretty much. Apart from the McArdle ball hit to right centre that everyone thought was going to be a home run.
Yeah,
didn't even get to the home run.
I talked to Jordan after the game yesterday, and he said that was one of the best balls that he felt he hit all season at Sturt. And, you know, he was thinking it was going over. You could see his reaction. It was almost like, are you serious? Even Goodwood, the players going by, were saying that was crushed, and it just died right in front of the wall.
Yep.
In one of the deepest parts of the park, the wind just caught it and swatted it down.
Yeah, that's not the first time that's happened here.
1-2 count, 2 outs coming to Mitch Lightbody. Lightbody scoops this one to the outfield, and it's back-to-back hits for the Sturt batting.
It's another good at-bat there by Mitch. Again, got a pitch he could handle, hit it into left field. So back-to-back hits here puts a bit more pressure now back onto Challinor to get an out.
That's just one that he stayed with.
Exactly. I mean, Beth had a great night last night as well, so here's an opportunity for him to help Sturt get on the board.
Yeah, I think it was a couple hits last night from Matt Macbeth. 3 hits even, 3 for 3. This hit over towards short, scooped to Cakebread. They get the third out despite back-to-back hits, so no damage done. We've played 4. We're almost at the midway point. Goodwood clinging to a 1-0 lead. Welcome back to West Beach, South Australia. It's game 2 of the Division 1 Grand Final Series between Sturt and Goodwood. The defense probably the story in this game. Both teams have got some runners in scoring position, but Goodwood's turned a couple double plays, a couple nice plays from Sturt, including an inning-ending double play when there are runners on second and third to start an inning, and then obviously with bases loaded later on. It's been a very impressive defensive performance from 2 pitchers that aren't striking a lot of guys out, but they're also locating pitches pretty well too.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. So, and this is where it's the pressure starts to build on as it gets later into the game. You need to get runners on and try and score some runs. And again, the heart of the lineup here for Goodwood, so they'll certainly be trying to put some pressure on here and put some more runs on the board.
And it was the part of the lineup that did some damage in the last time they were through. That was in the 3rd inning. They got the leadoff runner aboard, and eventually, crucially, with 2 outs as well, Dylan Child had an RBI single.
Yeah, he got that ground ball with eyes that went between to short and third there to the outfield and scored a run. So
sometimes all you need. Riley Moore offers at it. Foul ball.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have to hit him hard. You just need to hit him in a gap.
And we saw that all last night.
We did. We've seen it again tonight as well. So some balls hit hard by Sturt in the last innings. Two hits there to left centre and put some runners on. They were probably the hardest 2 balls we've seen hit over the 2 nights. So I think that'll start to happen a little bit more as the game goes on now.
Riley Moore, 1 for 2 on the day. He had a pretty hard hit ball that looked like it was going to be a double. It bounced off the wall. No hits last night for Riley Moore. But he's had 3 home runs in the postseason. That slips away. Riley Moore, the high performance manager in the Baseball South Australia admin office.
So 3-1, he'll be looking for something here, and he's also disciplined enough to know that if he doesn't get it, he puts himself at first base and gives Goodwood an opportunity. So not a pitch he wants to swing at there, so he just takes it. I mean, it's just another strike, so 3-2. That's an interesting one for the kids out there, that it's just because of 3-1 and someone throws a strike, you don't have to swing at it. So that's a discipline of a good hitter who knows a pitch he's looking for, and if he doesn't get it, you hold off on it. It's just another strike, and then you go to 3-2 with another pitch. And there it is, ball 4.
So that was just a savvy at-bat from a guy that's had a lot of at-bats in his life.
Absolutely, a 3-1, and it's not a pitch he's looking for, so you just let it go, and it's 3-2, and it's just another strike. So instead of rolling over to the third baseman or the shortstop, you take that pitch and give yourself an opportunity at 3-2 and see what happens. And it worked out perfectly for him. Ball 4. Puts the runner at first with none out. After
yesterday not getting that leadoff runner aboard, it's now the 3rd straight inning that Goodwood have done this. Dylan Child swings at the first pitch. But the last inning, they got runners on 2nd and 3rd with no out, but then a soft ground ball to 3rd that checked the runner, retired the first out, and then it was a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning with bases loaded when Jeremy Creswell was up to bat.
Until Tyndall's pitch count will be getting up a little bit too. I guess he'd probably be in the 70s now, maybe the low 80s on his pitch count. So Sturt will have to start thinking soon what their next process is after Tyndall, I would think, as well.
Well, Child swings for that. Goodwood have been effective with their lineup today. 8 of their 9 starters have reached, and we're only in the 5th inning.
Yeah, so there's certainly some pitches being thrown. I don't see anyone down in the bullpen just yet, but they'll be certainly talking about when that person starts to go down there and just roll it over. There you go. Child strikes out with 3 fastballs, so Tyndall pumps it up a little bit and gets the first out.
3rd strikeout of the day for Josh Tyndall. Stephen Welsh will be the next batter, but you're talking about the bullpen. The guy that's probably next up for Sturt would be Damon Arnold.
Yep, yeah, so he's probably the next in line. So you also have to think about that, and then what do you think about if Goodwood get this game done, and who goes game 3 tomorrow as well. So there's a lot of things to think about as a coach.
Well, pitching depth will be a big question for both teams if it gets to game 3. Stephen Welsh, the batter, swings at the first one. Because both teams will have used their 2 main starters in Challinor and Scott for Goodwood, Jackson Brebner-Rush and Josh Tyndall for Sturt. If Damon Arnold has to eat significant innings today, Sturt are running quite thin for tomorrow.
Yeah, I think both clubs.
Goodwood in the same thing.
Yeah, they'll be both pretty thin tomorrow. So Sturt will certainly want to be getting this done tonight. So there's no doubt about that.
Well, and if you
still a lot of baseball left, and you know. We had this last night, and all of a sudden it got blown out. So
it was close till it wasn't.
Yep, that's exactly right. So there's a long way to go here, but this is where the pressure starts to pour on for both teams, because one team obviously wants to end it tonight, and one team wants to come back tomorrow.
The pitch to Welsh, jammed a little. This in foul territory. Jackson Brebner-Russ tracking, and that just kept slipping more and more foul. Brings it to 2 strikes. Yeah, you almost can't think about tomorrow right now, because Sturt can be celebrating one tonight, and Goodwood don't really care how they get it done today, as long as they just get it done and give them. You don't have a chance to win if you're not playing tomorrow.
No, that's right. I mean, Sturt will do everything they can to win tonight. So they'll pitch guys tonight if they've got a chance of winning. They'll keep pitching guys to win. So you'd rather get it done tonight than have to come back tomorrow.
1-2 count to Stephen Welsh. Jammed again. This one looks playable. It might be difficult. They converge on it. And how is that Tracking that was Mitch Lightbody, who takes that in front of Jordan McCardle for out number 2.
Yeah, that's a good play there. That's one of those balls that could easily fall in that little gap there. So Mitch did a great job by getting over there and getting underneath that. And with a little bit of wind around too, it's one of those balls that are a little bit tricky sometimes to take. Geordie's not catching that ball at left field, and certainly Brebner Russell's not catching it either. So good play there by Mitch Lightbody.
Matt Hutchings with chance of, here we go, Hutchie from the Goodwood Juniors in that grandstand, the Mark Hutton grandstand, right behind home plate. Runner goes, slips away, so Riley Moore can stand up into second. That puts a little bit more pressure on him too. And you wonder, as a catcher, do you see that runner going in the corner of your eyes? It's that extra thing to think about. You miss that ball and it's easy for Riley Moore?
Yeah, absolutely. Macbeth's probably coming up to make a play there, and it just gets away a little bit from Tyndall as well. So they've obviously worked things out during the year as well. I don't know what his times are to second base, but there's a few guys that have gone early in counts tonight with Tyndall. So he's probably got a bit of a high leg kick, and it's a little bit slow to the plate, and they've tried to take advantage of that twice so far, and probably will till Macbeth can throw someone out.
Now a healthy lead for Riley Moore at second. Jam shot towards shallow right field. Running into that is Harry Nucky, and they retire the side. So Goodwood strand a runner at second. We're at the midway point of the game. It's a 1-0 Indians lead as you take a look at the replay here.
Yeah, good play by Nucky there. The ball's obviously running away from him as well. That wind at right field where the ball brings the ball back towards the infield, but he's played enough baseball out here to know that he needs to get in quickly on that and make a play. It's well done.
You talked about stealing bases and looking and running early in counts. As a guy that's standing on third base, when you're coaching or instructing young players doing it, or when you were doing it yourself, walk me through as a pitcher what you're looking for in a pitcher on a jump or for a steal?
Oh, there's a lot of it's probably it's a long conversation there, but you're looking for a pattern. The first thing is a pattern that the pitcher will get into if he throws the same pattern every time, where he comes set and then pitches it at the same time every single time. You can go on his timing. So he might come set, you count 1, 2, and then he pitches every time. So as a runner, you go, okay, come set 1, 2, and as he goes to 2, he will pitch, you take off. So that's one thing you can look at. High leg kicks as well is another thing.
We were talking about with Tyndall.
Yeah, if you've got a high leg kick and you're not as quick to the plate, you'll take off with that as well. But most coaches now have a stopwatch and time the pitcher letting the ball go with the catcher throwing the ball to second base.
Interesting.
To see how long it takes, because they know how long it takes a fast runner to run from first to second, and if they know that runner's faster than what the pitcher can pitch the pitch and then the catcher can throw it over to second, they'll run every single time.
So are you looking even for margins of tenths of seconds?
Absolutely.
Even?
Yep, absolutely. If you know you can get from first to second in whatever time that is, I'm not really sure what the times are, but the catcher's 0.1 or 0.2 of a second longer than that, then you just send guys every time that can run.
And I'm sure your job as a coach on the base pass becomes a little bit easier when you have a player like, say, Aaron Whitefield that's standing over at first or second base, or Mikey Reynolds, or someone with that kind of caliber of speed. Well, obviously,
that's exactly right. And then, but the thing with those sort of guys too, if you are a good pitcher, you change your routine, you change your timing. You quick pitch to the plate. There's all these things they do with these quicker guys to try and slow them down as well and stop their feet.
Well, both teams have got base runners on today. Goodwood more than Sturt. They stranded a couple runners. Defensively, it's been a pretty solid game. I know both teams have an error, but the defenses have made some plays off soft contact when they've really had to.
Yeah, there's nothing majorly happened as of yet, so... But I think it's not far away. Something's going to happen soon.
It was like that last night. It was kind of a bend but don't break game until it all broke open. Chop to first. Child went to play that. Flips to John Challenor. He just beats it out. They make the first of the inning.
That's a good play by Childs to get across there. And Chunky, obviously a veteran by getting over to first base and knowing what's going on. So good play there.
Here we go, Chunky Chans now coming from those Goodwood supporters. Third time through, though.
His son's probably one of those guys down there as well. So I'm not sure whether he's yelling out Chunky or Dad, so it'll be one of the two, I guess.
First pitch swing from Harry Nucky. high in the air. This one running out of real estate. It's going over the grandstand and bounces back into play. Harry Nucky has reached twice today. He's had a hit and a walk. Good game from Harry Nucky. He had a couple nice catches out and right, or just safe catches, a nice cutoff off the wall.
He's
to take away a double.
Good, consistent lead-off hitter, knows his job, and can run a little bit as well. So that's why he hits in the one hole and knows what his job is, and he's done it. He's had a really good year for Sturt this year as well.
And why was he a player that the Giants identified as one to be on the development player? But this one taken for a ride out towards left field, should be playable. It is, as Brody Heaps makes the play. But yeah, just as Harry Nucky walks to the dugout, what was it quickly about him that the Giants said, yeah, he deserves to be around this team?
Well, he's certainly got the ability, so it's just a more of a consistent thing for him and learning more about the game. So he's got a good arm, he plays good outfield, he's willing to learn and get better. So he's been part of the program for a couple of years now.
Terrell Joyce.
And again, another guy that's come through the HP program as well, right?
Joyce has reached twice today, both on walks.
So this is certainly an at-bat where Challinor won't throw him anything down the middle of the plate. He will pick corners, he will throw off speed pitches, he will throw splitties. He will try and get Terrell to get himself out.
Be an interesting position to be in as this power hitter. You know that pitchers are trying to do exactly this too. What are you just waiting for, that one mistake?
Yeah, you are. You're waiting for the mistake, and you need to be disciplined. You need to be a disciplined hitter. If you're not, you'll swing at bad pitches, especially with someone who knows how to pitch. You'll swing at bad pitches and get yourself out every time. So you have to be patient. You have to look for a pitch that you can drive. And if they don't throw it, you need to be disciplined enough to stay off it. How's
this for a grand final series for Terrell Joyce? He's 2 for 2 with 5 walks. He has yet to get out.
Well,
until then.
That's just changed that, Eric.
Terrell Joyce with a slow walk and a slow chat to the dugout, but John Challinor has his 3rd strikeout of the day, and it's a 1-0 game. We've played 5. Big grand final day at the Diamond Sports Facility in West Beach. If you want to channel surf on your other Spacequake Sports channel or on the Softball SA page, Sturt has just hit a 2 RBI double to go up 4-3 in the 4th inning against the Hills on the softball diamond. So lots of grand final action going on. I know a lot of I call both those games for softball and baseball, and there's a lot of the same viewers that are probably watching both of them tonight. So Sturt with a 4-3 lead over Hills. Darren Fidge's daughter pitching in that game for Sturt. Darren Fidge might pitch later tonight for Goodwood.
Yes, he may well do.
Brandon Pett lead things off for Goodwood. It's a 1-0 game here. It's been pitching and defense, but it's been the RBI from Dylan Child back in the 3rd inning that scored the run, the lonely one of the game. Up high, Macbeth brings that down. Two balls, two strikes. The 7, 8, 9 batters in Goodwood's lineup. You just saw Riley Moore walk by on your screen. Granted with an I love you from one of the
kids.
Patient at bat from Brandon Pett, and for the third time today, he's aboard. He doesn't have a hit yet. He reached on an error, hit by pitch, and now a walk. But he's, for the fourth straight inning, Goodwood have a leadoff runner, and you got to feel, Dunny, they've had a lot of opportunities these last 4 innings. They're going to need more than just this one run. Yeah,
and another leadoff guy on. So, and that pitch must have been pretty close too. Tyndall thought it might have been called a strike as well. So it's tightening up here.
It's been a tight game from the start. First pitch swing up the middle. Can they turn two? It's bobbled by light body. They won't get any. A massive break for Goodwood.
Yeah, that is a big break there. It's probably a routine ground ball double play that Mitch would field 9 times out of 10 and just takes that little hop on him and bounces up and can't make any out. So now runners at first and second with none out, and I'm almost guaranteeing there's a bunt play coming up here to move guys over to get back to the top of the lineup with Cakebread again. So I'd be very surprised if something's not happening here.
Goodwood presented an opportunity. It was the 6th inning where Sturt did all their damage yesterday. Goodwood now in the same inning trying to return the favor. They have a 1-0 lead. Heaps showing bunt. He's gone out 5-3 each of his at-bats. He's the only player on Goodwood yet to reach today.
So as a hitter here, for people that don't understand, so what Heaps wants to do is he wants Jackson Brebner-Russ to field the ball. So he fields the ball. The only play he's really got, unless he's crashing on the play, which he's not where he's fielding, is a play at first. So he needs to get the ball down to the third baseman, and then the runners will just move up.
Sturt need to be careful here because Heaps has some speed, and you see that on the, we can't see it on the screen, Jackson Brebner-Russ at third moving in, and Mitch Lightbody just dashing over to third as soon as that pitch is coming through.
Yeah, so they're looking to get the out of third if they can, but in this situation as well as a coach, you just say get an out somewhere. You need to get at least get one out somewhere. So they'll be trying to do that.
Heaps showing bunt. It's up in the air. Macbeth diving for it. If he had got that in, that would have been spectacular and a crucial out.
Great effort. He nearly got that. Yeah, he wasn't far away from that. So, but now it's an interesting situation with 2 strikes, and Heaps swings away. Does he hit a ball into a double play? He needs to get a job done here for Goodwood and move the runners up. However he can do it, doesn't matter how. He just needs to knuckle down and protect his strike zone and get those runners to second and third with, even if it's 1 out, it doesn't matter. He just needs to move those guys over.
You feel like both teams sense how big a moment this is in this ball game.
The worst scenario here is a ground ball double play, right? So Heaps can run, so that helps. It keeps him out of a double play if he hits a soft ground ball somewhere. But there's pressure on everywhere here. This is an interesting innings. Could open games up here.
But it's a 1-2 count, so bunt unlikely.
And he struck him
Called out on strikes. A double play ball will get them out of the inning. It's Tyndall's 4th strikeout of the day. It comes at a big time. But now to the top of the order, and batters will now get their 4th opportunity to see Josh Tyndall. Josh Cakebread, he's 1 for 3 on the day. He reached on an error, and he had a hit. He's been on the wrong end of a double play twice today.
Oh. It's a good pitch by Tyndall there on the outside corner, so gets in front of the count. Now he can work the hitter a little bit more with his off-speed stuff here.
Tyndall buckling down. Cakebread with a runner in scoring position and a 1-run lead. You feel like they need a couple more. Hard to keep Sturt's lineup at bay all day long. Foul.
I'd be interested to know what Tyndall's pitch count would be at right now. It'd have to be getting pretty close. It's 120. Is that the number?
120. Yep. Oh, 2. Up the middle. Can they get 2? They only get the lead off, the lead runner running from first to second. Or sorry, not the lead runner. One of the runners. It was going to be a tough play to have everything fall in line. You take out the replay here. Again, a bounce off the bare hand, the throwing hand of Tyndall. Chappell just goes for the tag, and he couldn't make a play after that, but now runners on the corners.
See, it's an interesting play there where Hughes, as a runner, as a heads up for a runner here in that sort of situation where Hughes needs to let the second baseman make a decision.
Well, I think Tyndall is just having a quick look at his hand.
I think it might have gone through his glove.
Payne Souter, the umpire on the plate, having a chat with Tom Winter and Josh Tyndall. First-year head coach. Done a great job leading them to a minor premiership.
Absolutely, he's done a fantastic job. So what I'm saying at second base there is the runner stops and then makes Chappell make a decision. So he either then throws the ball the first to get Josh out, but then he probably doesn't have enough time to get the play at second, but he makes the second baseman make a decision about the play instead of Hughes just running into an out. Okay, so that's an interesting scenario. Do you get the out at first?
Yeah.
Do you? But what it also does,
and you have to make it quick.
Yeah, it also makes Chappell. It also Hughes then protects Josh running down the line as well to potentially stop making a double play.
Yeah.
So then he's only
that'd
got
be
one
worst case
play.
scenario.
Yeah. So he's only got one play. So if he stops, worst case scenario, Chappell just walks up to him and just touches him for an out. But you protect the runner because there's no double play opportunity. If you run into the out and then the opportunity then presents itself to turn a double play.
Well, Goodwood have been knocking on the door for the 4th straight inning with runners in scoring position. They've only been able to score 1. Now it's 2 outs, and Jeremy Creswell up to bat. He's reached on a fielder's choice today, and he swings at the first pitch. This a crucial time to try to cash in some more runs here at the home of baseball in South Australia. Oh for 3 yesterday, Creswell. You feel like he's due without a hit yet. Chases at 1, sliding away, and it's an 0-2 count to the veteran shortstop. Runner goes, pushed towards short, scoop by Lightbody across the diamond. He had to make a good play, and he did. The threat retired. It's still a 1-run lead for Goodwood.
That's good there by Tyndall. Pressure situation, and through strike got the ground ball to Lightbody, who made the play over to Roger, and they get out of the innings, and it's still 1-0.
Well, Josh Tyndall, 95 pitches thrown now on the day. He's been fairly efficient, 95 through 6 innings. He's going to have another inning for sure in him. And that is going to be handy even if it does go to a Game 3 to eat up as many innings as possible. Because if you throw more than 60, you're not available for Sunday. So Tyndall and JBR in the event of a Game 3, not available. They might be relying heavily on a guy like Damon Arnold.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And but they have that option though, right? So if they can leave Damon Arnold until tomorrow if they need him. But again, if they're in a situation where they're in a position to win, they'll try and win it tonight. There's no
or even
doubt.
To hold it to 1 run, because this game very winnable in the bottom of any inning.
Yep. And I think there's a rule. If Damon Arnold stays under a certain number as well, he can then
60.
So he's not going to throw 60
in
2 innings. So he can then back up again tomorrow anyway, and start the game for him in Game 3 if it's needed, and then you just take your punt from there and see what happens. And I guess that's both teams are in that sort of situation. I guess Goodwood have got Matt Watkins in that role too for Game 3 as well. So But again, does he come into the game if he needs to and Goodwood are in front and, you know, late in the innings to win it as well. So there's a lot of things that the managers have to think about in the late
and it's going to change every pitch that's being thrown.
Yep, no, that's exactly right.
Middle of the lineup, McCardle, Jackson, Brebner, Russ, Angus Roger due up for Sturt. The 6th inning was the danger inning last night. Will it be the same thing for Sturt tonight? John Challenor zipping along. He's got 3 strikeouts. He's only allowed 3 hits on the day. Sturt have 5. Wow, Sturt's coaching staff has to be through the moon being able to keep Goodwood's batting at bay. They bat .370 as a team during the season. Sorry.
This is a big innings for Challenor too, with the heart of the lineup up, bottom of the 6th. This is where it all exploded last night. This is exactly the time it exploded, so it's a big innings here with your 3, 4, 5 guys up as well. So it's a bit of pressure here on Chunk. He gets that outside corner though. If he keeps getting that outside corner, he's going to be tough.
Last night's inning started innocently enough. It was kind of a ball we thought maybe could have been caught in right field. There was a bunt that Darren Fidge fell on and couldn't properly field to let a runner in reach. There was a play at third base, which the umpire called safe, which some might have said was safe. Goodwood, Ben Widmore certainly were animate that he was safe. And that kind of led to a few different things, just 3 innocent plays. That's what happened is Jordan McCardle started the walk down the line. He was unstrapping, he threw the bat aside, but it was called a corner strike.
Yeah, I guess that's where, you try and deke the umpire to think it's a ball. It'll be interesting there. No, that looks like it's a strike to me. So, yeah, Geordie tries to deke Payne into making it ball 4, and good call there by Payne.
One of the interesting moments in the game as McCardle with a 3-2 count fouls this away was in the very first inning, John Challenor, that exact pitch, he threw a couple of those in a row and they were called balls, and John Challenor walked from the mound and had a conversation mid-at-bat with Payne Souter, challenging him basically on his strike zone in a friendly way. It wasn't animated. And since then, it's been called, and Jordan McCardle is down looking. He did it to Terrell Joyce. He's done it to Jordan McCardle, and John Challenor finding his spots.
Yeah, and I think Challenor probably just went into Payne and said, "Hey, mate, I'm 46 years old. You need to give me that pitch on the outside corner." And that's a strike. That's right down the middle. You know, there's no qualms about that. That's a good pitch by Challenor, and it's certainly an out. Yeah,
I think Jordy knows it too, and I think he was more walking off in frustration with himself and how he was in that at-bat more than what that exact pitch was during the at-bat.
Yep.
First out, absolutely crucial. Jackson Brebner-Russ 0 for 2 on the day. Didn't bat last night, just pitched. He was certainly in contention for a Caps medal. Tied for second with 31 votes. Strong pitching numbers. He hit .337 with the bat. 3 home runs, 26 RBIs. Yet to get a hit in the playoffs.
That's a pretty decent year, though, with the bat.
He had 31 votes. He was 6 behind Landon. And, you got to think, he missed 5 or 6 games this year because he was playing with the Giants. You got to wonder.
Well, yeah, there's 5 or 6 games you can get votes in, aren't they? So, and you finish 6 behind, and you got 6 games. You got a possibility get 18 votes, haven't you? So,
and if Jackson Brebner-Russ goes, 2 for 4, which he did quite a few times this year, and he, pitches 7 innings, allows a run or 2. That's 2-3 votes, and it's another strikeout looking. John Challenor in the last 2 2/3 innings has 5 strikeouts. Through the last 3 in a row. Joyce, McCardle, Jackson, Brebner-Russ. If I told you, Michael Dunn, 15 minutes ago that John Challenor would get those 3 people on strikes looking, what would you have said?
Yeah, it's an interesting situation here as well with Wiggy going out to the mound. So has he?
I think he is.
He's at his pitch limit, is he? So
I don't know if he's at his pitch limit. There's no way he's pitched 120.
Well, it's an interesting situation of why he would be coming out of the game here unless he's on some kind of pitch limit, but you wouldn't think so in Game 2 of a grand final. But I guess we'll find out.
Well, that will be the end of Challenor in the grand final series. He goes 5 2/3. He strikes out 5, including the last 3. He allows 3 hits. The 46-year-old gave them every chance to win, and they're going to hand the ball over to Matty Watkins.
Yeah, so that's an it's got to be. I can only think that it's a pitch count.
But it's not the pitch count for the game.
Are we sure?
I'm finding out some information on that right now, but before we go to that, because it was a pitching change last night, Liam Scott was going pretty well. I was kind of surprised to see them go to the bullpen so early in the game, and he got lit up for 12 runs on a lot of soft hits, mind you. It wasn't necessarily Fidji's fault, but it was that pitching change that changed it here. And now with John Challoner rolling around, a surprising time for a pitching change, at least for me.
Yeah, so that's so I'm just trying to work out if it was a pitch count thing or.
Challoner threw 101 pitches.
And we have a pitching change here. John Challoner exits the game.
So maybe that's all the old man has in him. He might only have. He was on a limit of 100, and once he got to that 100, he.
Well, what a fantastic pitching performance for him. He doesn't allow a run. It was certainly a special performance. So the pitch count 105 right now. Challoner on 101. So he still could have faced Angus Roger.
He could have faced another hitter. Yes, you can get up to 105 if that's the case. I thought we did.
I thought it was 120, but I guess it's now down to 105.
Maybe it's 120 over the weekend, and 105 per outing.
But if you pitch, I know for sure that it's 60 in terms of if you pitch more than 60, you can't pitch again. So Matt Watkins is going to be an interesting spot here because he's got 3 1/3 innings to get through. If he's the guy the rest of the way, he's going to be right around that 60 mark. It's no guarantee that Matt Watkins is going to be available for tomorrow. There's a long way to go, a lot to think about because there's a long way to go. But maybe, Challoner didn't like the matchup with Angus Roger coming up, and he's going to have to get taken out anyway, so you might make that call, but that makes a little bit more sense going up against the pitch count.
Yeah, the scenario here too is that there is no tomorrow for Goodwood, so they need to win now. So
correct.
If Matty Watkins has got to come in this situation, he has to come in. There is no tomorrow if they don't get through today.
What a performance, though, from John Challoner. If I told you 3 years ago, Michael Dunn, you and I would be calling a game where John Challoner would go 5 2/3 of shutout baseball with 3 hits, striking out 5, including Joyce McCardle and Brebner Russ in order to end it, what would you have said?
I would have said we're at the Masters Games. That's what I would have said.
Fly ball, right field, caught by Owen Hughes. It's a 1-2-3 inning. We've played 6. Just 3 more to go. Can Goodwood hold on, or will Sturt make a charge? The late innings are coming up after the break. Look at the Sturt grandstand. They're hoping that they'll be celebrated in maybe an hour's time from now. With just 3 innings to go in this game, Josh Tyndall, he's pitched very well. He's just allowed the 1 earned run. Came back in the 3rd inning. Goodwood have certainly been pressing. They've got the leadoff runner 4 innings in a row. The last 2 innings, they've had 2 runners on and nobody out, and they haven't scored any of them. Tyndall has thrown 95 pitches to start the inning. The pitch count is 105, which means that Sturt have to get somebody ready in their bullpen.
Yeah, I think someone's been down there throwing, so they'll be ready to go here. So he's probably got, well, he'd like to get through this innings if he can.
10 pitches is possible. would Goodwood know that, and they would be maybe instructed saying, hey, let's just be patient, take some pitches, and make sure that we get him out of a game because he's been tough.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they don't. They're, Riley will take some pitches here to try and get their pitch count up, so they'll certainly know what's going on both sides.
Riley Moore swings at it. We'll get to pitch number 4 of the at-bat. Just 10, all required to chase Josh Tyndall. Of course, you can finish the at-bat once you start it. Middle of the lineup, Moore, Child, Welsh. Both teams presented that in their turns at bat. Sturt in the bottom of the 6 and the top of the 7 here.
So it's another crucial innings, right, with those 3, 4, 5 guys up. So you need to get outs early.
Two teams built on firepower, the 1 and 2 offensive teams in the competition. Both teams hitting for high averages. Goodwood 370, Sturt 340.
Tyndall not happy with that call.
Tyndall not happy with that
Must
call.
have been right on the bottom part of the strike zone, but Tyndall certainly thought that was a strike.
Well, of course, with all the offense, we get our pitcher's duel, and we had one last night until that 12-run inning, but if you remove that 1/2 inning, it's been a combined 2-1 in the 13 other innings of play.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you expect from these two teams. I mean, as offensive as they are, they're still,
top 3 in the league in pitching.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So the pitching's dominated the hitting so far in this series, so something's going to give somewhere.
Well, it's a walk. It's 6 pitches for Tyndall, and for the 5th straight inning, a leadoff runner is aboard.
I think it was actually 7 because he fouled one off.
That's
as well, right. So that's this will be his last hitter.
Unless it's a 1-pitch double play ball, and then they can move on to the next one.
Maybe.
But you'd say probably likely.
Well, I mean, if Goodwood knows what's going on, Childs will take at least a pitch here.
Yeah.
So if they're smart with what they're doing, they'll know exactly where he's at and make sure that he can't get to another hitter.
Child showing butt, slips away. Riley Moore is going to get to scoring position. He's been there 3 times today, and he hasn't scored yet.
And by Childs just doing what he did there, coming around to bunt, they know exactly where he's at with his pitch count because Childs is never going to bunt in that situation, right? So he's just making him throw a pitch, and he'll probably take another pitch here, 1-0, right?
If he can take one more pitch, it guarantees that this is Tyndall's last batter.
He'll probably just he has to take a pitch till he throws a strike. So he just now again, he looks for a fastball middle in or a pitch that he can drive somewhere, and if it's not that pitch, he takes another pitch here. So it puts it beyond doubt that this will be Tyndall's last hitter.
What a performance Josh Tyndall has had once again. He's given them a chance to win all season long, and he was no different tonight. Pitch to Child. Strike called. 2-1 count. But Tyndall all year long, an 11-1 record.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's a great job by him. He's done a great job, and tonight he's come out and done a fantastic job to hold Goodwood to 1 run with 5 hits and throw 105 pitches and give Sturt the opportunity to win game 2 tonight.
Dylan Child has one of those hits, and it was for an RBI. The only run of the game, thanks to that crucial 2-out hit way back in the 3rd inning. And boy, oh boy, have Goodwood ever pressed the last 3 innings, and have Sturt just kept dodging bullets, and they've got a gun loaded and facing right towards them once again with a runner in scoring position and no outs.
Yeah, and here, another job here for Childs is just hit the ball to the second baseman if he can't get a hit and move the runner to third with less than 2 out. And, the right guy coming up who's been around a long time, Welshie, just to put the ball in the outfield and score another run. That's the plan here. That's the plan here. So, but again, it's tied again, 3-2 with none out. So Tyndall's got to throw a strike here, or they've got runners at first and second with none out, and Welshie coming up to hit, which is ominous for any new pitcher that'll probably have to come in the game and face him.
Child swings through it. Josh Tyndall gets him to chase. If that's his final batter, which it is, Josh Tyndall did an excellent job. He goes 6 1/3. He allowed just the 1 run. He's responsible for the runner on second base with the walk, but he struck out 5, only allowed the 5 hits. Josh Tyndall, another excellent season, opportunity to win. Well done to Josh Tyndall and Sturt Baseball Club, and he's going to get a warm reception from the supporters as he walks to the dugout, and there he is greeting them right there.
He's done a fantastic job there, Tyndall. He's had a great year. He's had a great final series, and he's come in tonight in the grand final and thrown his 105. He could do no more in 5 hits with 1 run in 6 1/3 is a fantastic job by him.
Gave him every chance to win. Most of the time when you leave with only allowing 1 run as a starter, you're probably in line to win the game, you'd think. Not the case. But the new pitcher is Damon Arnold, a 7-0 record this year. He started 7 games. He had a .396 ERA across 50 innings. He had a big weekend in the first round versus Kensington. He pitched on the Saturday afternoon and then went and played Sandful footy, came back on Sunday with a black eye and pitched again and struck a few guys out in Sturt's win. So he's a good athlete, a gritty player, and he has been that third head in the 3-headed dragon for Sturt with their pitching this season.
Yeah, and it's the right time for him to come in here. Sturt's mindset is let's finish this tonight. They're going to throw their best guys, and they're going to try and get it across the line and go and celebrate tonight. So that's why Arnold's out there. So you'd probably find in a different situation if it was 6-0 or 7-0. Arnold's probably not out there right now. They bring someone else in
until you need him.
Until you need him. Until they probably get in front, and then you would come in to try and get him to close it out. So, but this game's well and truly far from over. So you would certainly bring your best guys in to try and keep finishing it tonight. High
leverage situation. Sturt need to get 8 outs and be relatively clean with it. It's a tough batter to face as his first one. It's Stephen Welsh. He's 0 for 2 on the day. He's got a walk. Stephen Welsh, a huge season, hitting .444 for Goodwood.
Yeah, that's kind of handy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
A much-loved player in the South Australian baseball community. Played with Team Australia. Played AA in the Red Sox organization. Tyndall finds an edge. Gets his first strike to his name. Arnold. There you go. I'm still in the groove. Damon Arnold outside. 3-1 count.
And this is an at bat here where Arnold can afford to be a little bit fine because there's a free base at first. Means nothing if he really puts him on. So he's probably not going to let him get a pitch he can drive, and he'll just get corners if it doesn't get called as ball 4, and that doesn't really hurt.
Called strike, full count coming. Matt Hutchings due up. Brandon Pett will follow. This is the 5th batter in the lineup and his 4th at bat of the day, but first versus the new pitcher in Damon Arnold. Full count. And a big strikeout for Damon Arnold. He has to face the longtime Team Australia member with a runner in scoring position, and he gets him to chase.
So yeah, that's a good sequence there. 3-1-2 to Welshie, and he comes back with change up, and strikes him out. So that's a big out right there.
Again, Goodwood, runners in scoring position. They just can't find a way to get them around. Matt Hutchings swings at the first pitch. Foul. He's 0 for 2 on the day. He was hit by a pitch and got on base, and he got to third. In the second inning, runner was stranded at third. In the third inning, they left a runner at second at the end of the inning as Hutchings flares this towards right field. It drops. Rounding third is Riley Moore. He touches home. Goodwood have a 2-run lead.
That's that little dying quail into right field there that picks up another run for Goodwood. It's a good pitch by Arnold, busted him in on the hands, and Hutch just got his hands through and hit it softly over the first baseman's head.
A 2-out RBI for Goodwood, and they can just exhale not much, but the tiniest little bit.
The tiniest of tiniest little bits.
Alleviates some pressure, but nowhere near enough. Here's a shot. Brendan Pett back to the wall. caught.
Wow, that was mashed. I thought that was well gone.
It was hit high, but not quite far enough. Kind of like that man who caught the ball, Jordan McCardle's shot last night. It just reached a pinnacle and then died, and Brandon Pett loved it off the bat.
Yeah, that's good old West Beach again right there. That ball died late, and Geordie played a lot of baseball out there this year with the Giants and played it very well and got the out.
Well, we've made it to the 7th inning stretch. Goodwood in a must-win game. It's a best-of-3 series. They're leading 2-0. The two best offenses in the competition going head-to-head. Two of the best pitching staffs, too. Dunny, as we reach the 7th inning stretch, what has been the story for you in this ballgame?
Well, to me, it's interesting with two teams that hit above 350 and can't score runs. That's interesting. I mean, in the end last night, Sturt obviously blew it out in 1 innings, but apart from that 1 innings, we've had 4 runs scored. So
it's a bit weird too. I feel like this game has just changed completely, right? Like the first 6 innings, you had John Challenor for Goodwood pitching an excellent ball game. Josh Tyndall for Sturt pitching an excellent ball game. They pretty much canceled each other out. A 1-0 game is where we leave it, and now both teams have gone to the bullpen. They have their relief pitchers in here. It kind of feels like it's a 3-inning game, and Goodwood just had a 1-run head start.
Yeah, I guess from my point of view, I didn't expect it to be as big a pitching duel as it's turned out to be, right? I'm thinking two extremely strong, massively offensive teams who are not doing that right at the minute. So,
and runners have been in scoring position for both teams, and early in the game, it was at the very start of the game, it was runners on first and second, nobody out for Sturt, and you were thinking, oh man, this could get ugly quick, and they get a double play ball. They got another double play in the 2nd inning, and then Sturt got 2 double plays in the middle innings of this one too, so both teams' defense is making plays when they really need to.
Yeah, and that's making the difference in the game right now.
But now it's kind of changed a little bit as Matt Watkins will face his second batter. Angus Rogers swung early in a count, and he flew out to right field in his first at-bat. Dylan Ridding is the batter that Matt Watkins will go against. Matt Watkins, when Goodwood won the last grand final in 2018, he was the grand final series MVP. Hit up the middle. Dylan Ridding's aboard with a leadoff single. And for the first time since the first inning, Goodwood have their leadoff runner aboard.
Yeah, so that puts a bit of pressure now back on the Goodwood side to keep the ball in the infield, get ground balls, get out. So
eerily similar sort of hit to what propelled them to 12 runs in the 6th.
Absolutely, and Matty Watkins has just got to keep throwing strikes and rely on his field to make plays for him and get out.
Mitch Lightbody, he's 1 for 2. He also grounded into a double play. Throw down at first, called safe. Riley Moore tested Dylan Ridding, who had to dive back quickly. It was a close play.
Strange. Yeah, this is a strange. I don't know why Mitch is bunting there. It's you're 2-0 down, and you move a runner to first, second base, score 1 run. You're still behind 2-1. So where Mitch has has enough power to hit the ball in gaps, or even hit a bomb to tie it up 2-2. So.
And you saw that power on that foul pitch there, but he had a gap shot that was a single back in the 4th inning off John Challenor.
Yeah. As a coach in that sort of situation, Goodwood would love him to do that because it's just an out. Right? You're taking out to put a runner at second base and have 1 out, especially with Sturt's lineup. So
there's 9 outs to go, but that is a lot of outs to still work through.
That's an eternity.
Mitch Lightbody had a couple disciplined at-bats already today. 1 for 2 on the day. Lightbody scoops that to the outfield. Runners on first, runners on second. Here come the Saints.
So that's exactly what we're talking about there with that situation where, Mitch gets a hit there. If he puts that bunt into play, he's just an out. It's just an easy out. So, good work by him there to come back and put the ball into play, and a tough pitch that he hits into right field, and now you've got runners at first with none out, and the pressure goes back onto Goodwood.
Yeah, this is as much pressure Goodwood has felt since the 1st inning when runners got on first and second with no out. They did get a double play ball. This is Matt McBeth up to bat. He was 3 for 3 yesterday and played a key part He had 2 hits for
They may bunt
RBIs.
here. They may bunt here. I'm not sure why, but it's a situation.
I mean, if you bunt here, at least you have 2 runners, which at the time runs in scoring position.
Yeah, people see it differently, but they will probably bunt here.
And you see the corners cheating in. And this one, just a chop shot down the line. They're going to tag out Macbeth. You know what? That will do the trick.
Well, it was a bunt. It wasn't a bunt in the end.
It wasn't a bunt. It was like a little cricket.
A little check string or block, no run there. So in the end, it worked for them, and now they have the tying run at second base with Tyler Chappell up. So in a strange way, it worked out to do what they were probably going to plan to do anyway, and now they rely on Tyler to see what he can do and see if he can score some runs.
Well, he's the 9-hole hitter. He's bat over 300 this year. He's sort of a converted pitcher. He pitched for the Adelaide Bite for a few seasons. He's pitched for Sturt, and I'm sure he'll be called upon if this goes to Game 3. He swings at the first pitch, going towards the right field. That drops in. Tyler Chappell scores a run. This lead's cut in half.
And that's exactly what he wanted to do there. He got jammed a little bit and just hits a little flare into right field and scores a run. So now the pressure is definitely back on Matty Watkins here with runners at first and third with 1 out.
Ground
back
ball
to the top of the lineup.
A ground ball through the infield, a soft shot to right field for Light Body, and a soft shot to right field for Tyler Chappell. 1 run is scored. It's runners on the corner, 1 out. And potentially 1 swing of the bat from Harry Nucky could put Sturt in pole position for another premiership. Key block from Riley Moore. Matt Watkins has delivered in pressure situations before. In 2018 in the grand final, he came in with a lead in game number 1. He gave it up. It was a blown save. In game 2, he comes out and he has a 9-out save to get Goodwood to game 3. And then he starts on Sunday and he goes 6 innings, allowing just 1 run, and he ends up winning the grand final MVP in a great bounce back story.
Yeah, that's a dream story, that one. So he's just looking to try and get a ground ball here and try and get an out.
Coming off an injury, 20 innings pitched this year. As this one is low and away, and Tyler Chappell jumps on it and he gets himself to second base. So 2 runners in scoring position. A base hit from Nucky might just give Sturt the lead. Crucial out, 2-1 count. Can Sturt capitalize?
Infield up.
Nucky swings at it. It'll die in left field.
That'll score a run.
Heaps catches it. He's going to make a play into the infield. This ball game's tied. That was all Harry Nucky needed to do, and a sac fly, RBI. Just like that, we're back to how he started.
It's a great job by Nucky. That's all he had to do, as you said. Give yourself up, tie the game up, and give yourself an opportunity.
Well, you can give yourself up, tie the game, and give this man, Terrell Joyce, an opportunity with a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he gets anything.
Do you consider passing him up?
Well, you do, but then you got to go to McArdle with a righty-lefty combination. So you probably, again, you throw around him and see if he can, see if he swings at bad pitches to get out, right?
On cue. Well, this Sturt lineup just offers so much protection for all their guys. Pretty much 1 to 9, it feels like.
Yeah, they hit deep, and it's hard to throw around guys because the next guy that comes up is just as strong.
Tie ball game here in game 2. Terrell Joyce up towards center field. Matt Hutchings tracking, makes the play. Sturt scored 2 in the 7th, and we're going to 8 the same way we started the first. All tied up. We'll see ya on the other side. Under the bright lights at Bennett Field in West Beach, this game is being ramped up in intensity level. It could all end tonight if Sturt can find their way in front. They were down 2 runs. They tied it in the 7th. And we're in for a grandstand finish. Goodwood need to win to force game 3. Sturt dreams of champagne later today.
And you would expect Sturt to do that in that sort of situation too. They're not just going to roll over. So.
Oh, they want to win tonight.
They're 25-5 for a reason.
And winning on Saturday night's a whole lot more fun than winning on Sunday afternoon. Awkward spot in the infield, or the shallow outfield. We've seen problem balls there before, but that one is no issue for Mitch Lightbody. He's tracked over, made a couple of those in shallow left field. 1 away, and for the first time in 5 innings, Goodwood do not have the leadoff runner aboard.
And this is an interesting time of the game too in regards to, this is a pinch hitter.
Tom Fiebig made the move over to Goodwood. He's pinch hitting for Brody Heaps. Made the move over to Goodwood after a long time at West Torrens Baseball Club.
Yeah, good player, been around a long time as well, so a lot of depth.
A veteran guy, probably joining a bit more of a veteran team than what was at West Torrens. West Torrens really using a lot of kids and very effectively this season. They have probably the biggest, brightest young rookie and young player talent in the competition.
Yeah, they'll be strong for a while, and they'll certainly be competitive for the next 5 to 10 years with the youth that they've got coming through their senior grades.
2 young players, Jasper Clark and Darcy Berry, made the team of the year on West Torrens. Tom Fiebig comes in, he hits it over towards short. Mitch Lightbody across the diamond, out number 2. Well, Goodwood feel a little bit more feel a little bit more in control than maybe they have for most of the game right now. I know it's a 2-2 game, but you feel it shifting a little bit in that direction.
Well, as I was just about to say, it's an interesting scenario that Sturt come into hit, they hear and they score a run and get 3 outs, the game's over.
It could end quick.
Yeah, in a hurry, in a hurry. So they'll be looking to make an out here and then get into to hit, and they'll put a lot of pressure on in the bottom of that 8th innings to try and just get 1 run however they can, get 3 outs and game's over.
Worst case scenario, I think, for both the teams, to be honest, is extra innings if you're thinking about game 3 in terms of pitch counts.
Yeah, absolutely. Pitching's crucial.
Pitch over the plate. Strike 1. Josh Capebread. 1 for 4 on the day, but he's reached on an error and a fielder's choice. It's pretty even in all respects in terms of runs on the board, hits, errors, walks. Capebread to right field. Is it going to drop? Charging in is Harry Nucky, who's had a pretty nice game. He makes a nice play. Nucky's had to do that a few times. Charge in to make a play in some swirling wind. He was the one that had the RBI to tie the game. Harry Nucky's playing some pretty good baseball today.
He's done a great job.
But Dunny, just as you said, now we're at a point, like that was a really quick inning. It was only 8 or 9 pitches from Damon Arnold. That's best case scenario for Sturt. And now, with the middle of their lineup, McCardle, Jackson, Brebner, Russ, and Angus Roger due up. If they get 1 run here, we're talking about closing this thing out in like 10, 15 minutes from now.
Yep. So that would be their talk in their dugout right now, is to try and do anything they can to get a run on the board.
Matty Watkins has had a pretty good career at Goodwood. He's been used as a starter. He's been used as a reliever, coming off an injury, but 20 1/3 innings pitched this year and a sub-2 ERA. He offers a nice little bit of depth and dynamic to this team. Other pitchers they might have, Goodwood, is guys like Tom Fiebig. Michael Gain is on the team list, but I don't think he's healthy enough to throw.
No, I believe he's still got a sore shoulder, so he would be an at-bat option late in the game if they needed him for some situation like that. But yeah, Tom Phoebix, your next best option, but he might be your game 3 starter.
So just trying to look around the diamond here. Is Phoebig now just as a straight swap in for Brody Heaps out in left field?
Yeah, I believe that's the case. Yep.
Well, there you go. Jordan McCardle, Jackson Brebner-Russ, Angus Roger. The 3, 4, 5 batters for Sturt. Can the middle of the lineup put Sturt just 3 outs away from a second premiership in 3 years?
You can see the shift in the infield there. You've got your shortstop playing out behind second base. So just a renowned pull hitter is Geordie, so they'll be looking for him to pull the ball.
Racing ahead 0-2, Matt Watkins. It looks kind of still on the ground, but there must be a fair bit of wind up there.
Yeah, the flags are moving around a little bit, so it is a little bit windy.
Called ball. Payne Souter is the umpire. You got Neil Polton over at third. Ian Revel at second. This one inside, and over at first base is Andrew Bell. So South Australia's biggest umpiring names out there. 2-2 count. We thank you very much for joining us for this great contest wherever you are.
All around the world.
All around the world.
So we just got a nice little text message come through from Steve Mintz, who was the old ABL manager for us.
McCardle
deep
down
into
to
right
center field. Hutchings. Oh, made it look harder than what it probably was.
Certainly
Gee whiz.
did.
Oh, my.
Certainly did. So we'll just have a shout out there to Mincy and say hi. And
Steve Mintz.
We hope you're enjoying the action here tonight. And we love you, buddy, and can't wait to catch up with you next year.
Isn't it like 5 in the morning wherever he is right now?
Well, you know what he's like. He's a baseball diehard. So
set the alarm. He heard that Michael Dunn and Eric Ballner were calling the game, and he had to watch it.
That's exactly right. So hello, mate, and I hope all's well with your family and spring training is going well for you at Texas.
First hit up the middle, diving to make that play is Creswell. He just couldn't quite get enough arm on it as Jackson Brebner-Russ tumbles down with an infield hit. That was a great effort from Jeremy Creswell. He had to make an absolutely perfect throw, and yeah, he was always going to be in tough with this one. Take a look at him lay out. He had to get up and try to throw it off his knees, and that was going to be a tough play.
He just couldn't get enough power on it to get the ball across there. I think he had time to get Jacko out because Jacko doesn't run the best either, but this is another crucial at-bat here.
Every at-bat crucial from here on out. Angus Roger up to bat, the go-ahead run, and Jackson Brebner-Russ, Game 1 starting pitcher and arguably the player of the game in game number 1, is standing on first. Can he be the one that touches the plate to put Sturt ahead? Roger, the at-bat. He's 0 for 3 on the day. Hit over towards third. He's now 1 for 4, and he's put the go-ahead run in scoring position. Back-to-back hits. Nothing really too dangerous or hard hit, but it's just doing enough.
Yeah, that's all you need to do. And as I said, Sturt's goal here would be just to put a run on the board any way they can possibly put a run on the board and have good at-bats. You know, Rogues just had another tough at-bat there, hits the ball out to left field for another hit with runners at first and second with only 1 out, and this is a crucial at-bat here. Dylan
Ritting was 2 for 5 with an RBI yesterday. Today he's 2 for 3 with an RBI. He also reached on an error. Dylan Ritting has put together a nice performance in this grand final.
So Goodwood looking for a double play and Sturt just looking for a hit.
Watkins gets him to bite. Ritting, second straight pitch, he swings right through. And he's down to his second strike. Goodwood hoping for that double play ball to send it to the ninth. Ridding up the middle. Creswell, Cakebread, Child, double play! Sturt can't believe it.
Sturt not happy with that call at all.
Goodwood, a crucial double play. Here's a look at the replay. A barehanded catch and a bang-bang play. Bell was standing right there. It was pretty close. I don't know if we can see that replay again or not, but that was really tight here at the end of the 8th inning. Wow. We're going to get another look at it. Take a look at this play, though. Creswell to Cakebread, who bare hands it, steps on the bag. This is going to be tight. Oh, I think he's safe.
I think he is too.
I think he's safe.
Wow.
Well, you know what? Last night it was Goodwood that might have been hard done by one of those calls at a play at third where the runner looked out and it was called safe. That one, the runner looked safe and he was called out, I think, by a step.
Yeah, it's bang bang, and Belly said Belly caught him out, so tough call, especially that time of the game, but here we go. This is what makes it interesting.
Well, that would have been runners on second and third for Mitch Lightbody and a chance to put them ahead. Instead, we're going to the 9th inning in what has been a very fascinating game. A really good game. I like the low-scoring ones, a little bit of offense, but I don't like the big blowout games, Dunny. I don't like the 7-6 games. A baseball score 3-2, 4-3, that's fine for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's what baseball tragics, that's what it's all about. We don't want blowout games. We want, strategic managers to have to make decisions to do the right thing and see how it turns out, and that's exactly what's going to happen here.
But it was Creswell and Cakebread that helped combine for the third double play of the day. Creswell 0 for 4 on the day. He's reached on a fielder's choice. Chopped down the line. That one goes foul. Dangerous part of the lineup. Creswell, Moore, Child. All of them hitting above 387 on the season. Creswell, opposite field. Nucky's been busy, and he continues a solid game in right field and brings that one in. And a crucial first out for Sturt. Well, this game's going down to the wire no matter what happens here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Goodwood playing for Sunday, Sturt for a premiership on Saturday night at West Beach. About 50 meters to our left, it was the Sturt Falcons softball club that won the A-grade premiership. They won the minor premiership, Sturt did, and then they won the grand final. They're hoping for a Sturt double tonight, softball and baseball.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's happened very often on the same field.
On the same day, yeah. That means Millie Fidge has won a premiership, Darren's daughter. Darren will hoping it's a Fidge weekend of premiership medals. Riley Moore, 2-1 count. He's been a patient at bat all day. He's got a single, he's got 2 walks. 2-2 count. Moore goes after it and goes right through it. Another strikeout for Damon Arnold. He's pitched really well in relief. He's now retired all 6 batters that he's faced.
He's come and done a fantastic job, kept Sturt in it, so He just needs to get one more out here, and then Sturt go in and try and finish it.
Now batting, Dylan Child.
And Dylan Child goes after it. Yeah, I mean, the fastball seems to be working as well for Damon Arnold today.
Yeah, he's throwing. He's got a lively arm. He's throwing his spots, and Goodwood is struggling to get him.
Up the middle, right to Damon Arnold. He's come in. He's gone 7 up. He's gone 7 down. And Sturt have a chance to walk it off for a premiership. Wow. How's the reaction time? Child at the middle. Right to the glove of Damon Arnold. But they're swinging early and counts off him. He really hasn't got the pitch count up at all.
No, they're being very aggressive with his pitching. So here we go, Eric.
Yeah, I mean, we were wondering if a walk-off was in play at some point. The answer is absolutely, no matter what happens the rest of the way. I mean, Sturt's going to have an opportunity to walk it off to win a premiership tonight.
Yep, that's exactly right.
They're going to have to do it with the 7, 8, 9 batters, Lightbody, Macbeth, and Chappell, but that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. It was the 7th inning when Ridding, the 6th batter, led off with a single. Lightbody followed with a single. Both those runners ended up scoring. It was a Harry Nucky sacrifice fly. Goodwood scored in the 3rd on a Dylan Child RBI. They added another run in the 2nd with a Matt Hutchings RBI single to make it 2-0, and then Sturt in the 7th add 2. John Challenor, 46 years old, goes 5 2/3, strikes out 5, allows 3 hits, doesn't allow a run. Josh Tyndall just allows the 2 earned runs on the day. It's been a very good day for the starting pitchers, and now Matt Watkins is going to try to stop a celebration from those Sturt Saint supporters. Here we go, buckle up. Sturt can sense a premiership. Lightbody will lead things off. Nervy times for Goodwood, who have already celebrated a Division II premiership earlier in the day. Lightbody is 2 for 3 on the day.
It's a good guy to have at the plate here, knows his strike zone. We'll make him throw some pitches and make sure he throws strikes.
Chops at one. Stephen Welsh dives at third across the diamond. We've been seeing him doing that for years, and Stephen Welsh makes him look easy.
That's a great play by Welsh at third there. That ball gets by him. It's a double down the line, and it's big trouble for Goodwood. He picks that play up, makes it looks like he's been doing that for years, which he has. It's a fantastic play.
He didn't even look bothered. Pretty good. That gun left arm from...
In a pressure situation, too, that's a fantastic out.
That left arm just gets down across the body, traps the ball. Matt Macbeth, 0 for 3 on the day. Catches a corner. Struck 1. I think the danger here is you get a runner on base and you go back to that top of the lineup with Nucky and Joyce lurking. You feel like a 1, 2, 3 inning so important.
Oh, absolutely.
Macbeth doesn't like those first 2 pitch calls. Watkins, 1-2 pitch coming. Up high, 1 swing of the bat. Don't forget, we haven't seen a home run yet in this series, and just as those flag poles in right field look as quiet as they've been all game long, stays alive in the at-bat. These games fun to be a part of as a player, Danny?
Oh, this is why you play. This is the whole reason you play, and you want to be that guy hitting, you know? You want to be in that situation. You know, you always...
Rides inside.
You play baseball in the backyard. It's always the bottom of the 9th with 2 out when you hit the home run to win the game, right? It's always that's how you dream it up when you're a kid playing in the backyard. And there's a situation right now where someone can be the hero.
Macbeth. Welshie again. Long throw. He's 2 for 2 in the inning. One of Australia's best third basemen in the last decade has been tested, and he's passed.
As he always does.
You think?
As he always does.
That ball took a hop, too, off the dirt.
Yeah, it took a little bit of a hop out there. So, you know, there's a lot of people have been running out on the dirt. There's probably a few bumps and scrapes that makes the ball jump around a little bit at this stage of the game as well. So,
well, Tyler Chappell up to bat. Grounded to first. It takes a weird hop, and it goes to the outfield.
It hit the base.
Off the base, into the outfield, and the premiership run is aboard. Wow.
You can't script that. That's unscriptable.
It was going to be an easy play for Dylan Child. You want a Sturt bounce?
That's a Sturt bounce right there.
Wow. Harry Nucky has been good defensively. He's got the RBI of the tying run. He's got a hit. Can he drive home the premiership run? Hits it hard. Foul. Oh. That's got to be tough as a player, thinking you're out of the inning and then having to buckle back down, reset yourself, refocus.
Absolutely. You don't, I mean, how many times do you see that? That's amazing.
Goodwood wanted the call. It's a ball, 1-1. You can feel everything get a bit more tense here. There's Chappell turning over on one. The Sturt bounce. Runner goes. Throw to second. Can they get him? They do! Riley Moore guns him down, and this is going to extras.
It's a great play by Riley off his knees there to get the out. It'll be interesting to see that replay, and Tyler reckons, you know, the look on him. Oh,
he's hurt
a bit too.
He's limping off
there, so.
And that could be crucial. He's a pitcher they need. Moore from his knees. Oh, I think he's safe. Can't really see from that angle, but it looks like he hit the bump there. But either way, well, I don't know. That was close. We'll see if we can see it again. I know that's the only angle we've got, but what a throw from Riley Moore on his knees. Like, that was on the money. Here's a look at it again. This is the best one we've got. Moore from his knees. Great throw in slow motion. Watch the slide from Chappell.
Oh, I think he's under that. I think he's under that.
I think he's under it too. It's really close play. Rev was right there, and we didn't quite have the angle on it, so it's kind of tough for us to make the call on that. But you can kind of see him slide and hit that bag a little bit underneath. Either way, Riley Moore.
But then does he come off? It's hard to see.
It's if he comes off. Yeah,
well. So if that's what Rev see, then obviously that's
and Rev was pretty confident. Like, he looked at him. He's like, "Yeah, you were dead, basically." So that's pretty unbelievable play from Riley Moore from his knees to get what could have been a winning run. And ballsy to throw that, because if that's a misplay into the outfield, that run scampers to third or worse.
Absolutely.
We're going to extra innings. Who would have scripted this? Stephen Welsh, who made a couple key plays, is going to lead things off. A gripping contest at West Beach. It is not international rules tiebreaker yet.
Do they have that?
I think after a certain amount of innings, like if it gets to the 11th or 12th, I believe. Either way, I'm quite happy to see this just play out as it goes here in extra innings. Let the pitchers work their pitch counts. Really make things fun for tomorrow. Welsh outside. Stephen Welsh was the first out that Damon Arnold got. He's got 2 strikeouts on the day. He's retired his last 8 batters he's faced, sorry. Nope, 7 batters. He allowed just the RBI hit to Matt Hutchings. That goes down as Josh Tyndall's run.
I've been advised by the powers to be that we don't believe there is a tiebreaker.
We'll play until 3 a.m. Stephen Welsh strikes out for the second time of the day at the hands of Damon Arnold. He's pitched really well today.
Fantastic. But it's in a situation too now where he has to stay under that 60 or he can't throw tomorrow. So
what do you do as a manager? Do you just keep right? Like, this could get wild.
Yeah, it's an interesting scenario you have to run with.
Hutchings,
unless you've got someone to go tomorrow. Who goes tomorrow? If he goes over 60 today, who does go tomorrow?
Tyler Chappell?
Maybe.
They've only thrown 4 pitchers. Terrell Joyce. Tyler Chappell would be available for them to throw. Probably Terrell Joyce.
So you probably keep him out there. Keep him out there and
Joyce and Chappell, because you know that Goodwood would come back with a similar thing. Watkins facing the same trouble right now that Arnold would. You'd probably be looking at a theoretical game 3, a Joyce versus Fidge or Fidge.
Fidge or Fidge, one of the two. There'd be those.
So both teams have options.
Both of them at some stage, right?
Yeah, you would. Both teams have options.
Arnold's on right now, and you'd probably leave him out there and see whether he can get it done.
I mean, you gotta give your team a chance to win tonight.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
Called out on strikes. You can see the look on Matt Hutchings' face. But it's strikeout number 4 for Damon Arnold. We'll see if we got that on replay.
Oh.
That's outside. Well, Brendan Pett absolutely crushed his last pitch that he saw that dropped on the warning track that looked like it was gone off the bat. Yet to see a home run in this series. It'll be a memorable game, one that people will certainly be talking about after.
Yep. And how grand finals should be played. You know, this is the best 2 teams in the competition throughout the year, and playing accordingly in the top of the 10th, game 2. This is how we'd like to see it, right? This is what we'd like to see. We'd like to see these sort of games.
And you like to see the managers be presented with a bit of a challenge on how you manage pitch counts going into the game.
Yep, you have to make decisions that are crucial.
Fouled away. They're getting a few more pitches off of Damon Arnold in these innings at least. Here we go, petty chance coming from the Goodwood juniors. Outside. Stayed alive for a couple pitches, now gets a ball. Fouled away. How much is your adrenaline going in this situation, or is it sometimes in pressure situations, sometimes at least I feel eerily calm? Do you feel the adrenaline going, or is it that sense of calm and focus?
Oh, yeah, no, you certainly do as a hitter. I mean, I played center field, so I was pretty relaxed. Ball comes out there, you catch it.
It's either to you or over you.
So, but the pitchers and the infielders definitely feel it in these sort of situations when you're in every single pitch and every single play. So. But as a hitter, you certainly get fired up in these situations to try and help your team win.
I imagine you can feel everything.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Pett battles away. It's a jam shot to second. Chappell brings it in. A 1-2-3 inning. It's now 10 straight for Damon Arnold, who is really putting himself in the conversation for a player of the game.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job, and he's held Goodwood to no runs here, and it's exactly what he needed to do in this sort of situation to keep Sturt in the game and an opportunity to finish it off.
Well, how does Harry Nucky, Terrell Joyce, and Jordan McArdle sound for due up? Nucky, who was at bat when Chappell was thrown out trying to steal, he'll go back up to bat to start this 10th inning.
Well, the first out's the crucial one, isn't it? So you don't want any runners on in this sort of situation.
Especially with Terrell Joyce up to bat.
Yep, no, that's exactly right.
That's the reason why they brought him to Sturt. Well, really glad you could join us. Goodwood had a 2-0 lead in the 7th. The Saints used some small ball to tie it up. John Challenor, a fantastic pitching performance. Thank you much for joining us wherever you are. So Nucky, Joyce, McArdle will start things off for Sturt with a premiership on the line. Matty Watkins has pitched in some big games before. There's Riley Moore. He's the one that gunned him down. Nervous anticipation across the grandstands at Bennett Field. Extra innings. Nucky has played a pretty good game so far. He's gone on base twice. He's singled, he's walked, he's had an RBI. That was the tying run back in the 7th. Big swing.
And I think Nux tried to win it with one swing right there.
Well, they can, and these are home run hitters coming up. He just needs to get on base.
Leading things off here in the front of the 10th inning is Harrison Nucky.
So interesting now. So, you know, Nux as a leadoff guy, does he take a pitch here? Does he swing 3-1? Me as a leadoff guy, probably take a pitch here. Make him throw a strike.
To left field. Is it going to find a spot? Fiebig makes the out.
He certainly hit it hard there. That was a good swing by Nux. Just got unlucky, hit it straight at the fielder.
Entering the inning, 43 pitches for Matty Watkins, so he's now at 48. He can pitch 105 if he needs to, but the number is 60 to pitch again tomorrow, if required. Worry about tomorrow when we get there.
Yeah.
I think he's got to worry about not scoring a run, and maybe this
tomorrow.
guy able to swing the bat and end it. Flared to right field, and it drops in front of Owen Hughes. Eerily similar to the hit that started the rally in the 6th inning last night.
Here we go.
Jordan McArdle has been clutch all throughout his Sturt career and his Division I career, certainly. Last night, 4 for 5, 4 RBIs, and the big difference maker for Sturt offensively. Tonight, he's 0 for 4. But he has the premiership run aboard.
And Terrell can run a little bit too, I think, in this sort of situation. So he may, Watkins is slow to the plate, so he may try and get himself in a scoring position here.
Goodwood looking for the double play.
Probably, you know, you wouldn't want to have anyone else up at bat right now except this guy. So.
And Brebner Russ right behind him.
This is a huge at bat.
Sturt can feel it. McCardle fouls away, but Watkins has him on 2 strikes. McCardle grounded into a double play back in the first inning, and he struck out in the 6th in what was one of John Chalonor's final at-bats. 46-year-old John Chalonor, what a performance he had. But the starting pitchers were great, but it all doesn't really matter right now. We're still square in extra innings. Sturt trying to win it tonight.
Well, that's a tough
Chopped,
play.
picked up, barehanded across the diamond, and it's a good job just to move forward and bring that in and stop extra bases from happening. That was in a really soft spot, even for this great Goodwood defense.
A nubber. What a time of the game to hit a nubber. And very hard play to play by Cressy there with his playing to pull, and yeah, really no chance of making it out on that play.
Yeah,
so.
Dylan Child moved forward, just brought the ball in before it could cause any damage.
Yep, absolutely.
Jackson Brebner Russ was an amazing start as a pitcher last night. Can win it here for Sturt, and he was trying to on that swing.
He certainly was. He was trying to end it right there.
What a season Jackson has had. The Goodwood fans getting into it too. 0-1 count, premiership run in scoring position. Crucial block from Moore. It's kind of weird because one hit can win the game, but the ball to the wrong spot is a double play and we're playing 11.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You think back to the 2018 Grand Final Series with Goodwood. They lost Game 1 and they had to win it in extras with Matt Watkins pitching in that game versus Port Adelaide too. So this isn't uncharted territories.
Yeah, it's not new. I've been here before.
The 2-1 pitch to Brebner Russ. Well, a hitter's count.
Got to throw strikes. Can't win if you don't throw strikes. Now it gets interesting.
And he hits him. A fly ball will win it.
And here comes Wiggy.
Bases are loaded.
Terrell Joyce, the premiership run, 90 feet away. And Ben Wigmore coming in for a chat. Is this where do you go for a pitching change? Do you just settle him down, or
I would doubt it. Not in this sort of situation. I wouldn't think so.
or is he just trying to make Angus Roger a chance to win it for premiership for this premiership for Sturt? Do you just make him think?
Absolutely, make him think about what's going to happen a little bit more here with what's going on. So, the infield will all play up. They'll try and get the out at the plate.
Yeah, they'd be hoping either for a really shallow fly ball, a ground ball for a double play, or a strikeout.
Well, I'm not
or
sure.
A force set at home. The good thing about bases loaded, we saw this a lot in our Super League coverage. Yes, a run can score, but the runner on first and second don't matter right now. You're only worried about the runner at third.
Well, it's an interesting play here. Their middle infielders are playing back, so that's an if they don't turn the double play, the game's over. So, I mean, your crucial outs at the plate. I mean, the double play is irrelevant here.
You only need to worry about Terrell Joyce.
It's an interesting decision here by Wiggy to play his middle infielders back. A soft, slow ground ball. There's no double play. They're only relying on Roger not being a quick runner.
Check swing, didn't go. Angus Roger, longtime Sturt clubman, has the chance to deliver what would be an iconic moment for the club.
Yeah, it's interesting. This is an interesting scenario here.
He wanted the premiership right there.
Well, realistically, just has to. It's almost he just hits it and they win.
Sacrifice fly. It's not a sexy way to win it, or a walk.
I don't think they'll care.
How about a walk? Not sexy, but
a walk's another one. Yeah. So Matty's got to throw strikes or trouble.
A 2-1 count. Every pitch magnified now for Matt Watkins. He cannot walk him. He cannot allow a hit. He cannot allow a deep fly ball. Sturt can taste it. Watkins to Roger. Chop foul. The 2-2 count. That's the winning run. Watkins to Roger again. Foul ball. We'll do it again. And what will now be at least a 6-pitch at bat.
Outfielders have got to be shallow here as well. A fly ball to the outfielders. They've got to be able to throw the guy out at home.
Yeah, you're right.
Phoebe's probably a little bit deep at left field as well. So
doesn't matter if it goes over its head because it's over anyways.
Anyway, you got to throw the guy out at the plate.
Roger, shallow fly ball. They make the play. It'll be a play at the plate to win the premiership, and Sturt have done it. It's 2 in 3 years for the Mighty Blues. The Saints rule them all in 2021.
What a fantastic ending. And even almost a bang play at the plate. Owens threw a great throw from center field. They just couldn't get there in time. But a fairy tale finish for Roger and the Sturt Baseball Club there to win the 21 premiership.
Here's a look at it. Roger was just wondering if he got enough. Owen Hughes made the play. The throw had to be on the money. And Terrell Joyce was going to make no mistake. Well done to the Sturt Saints. Dunny, we got to wrap this up in a second. I'm going to get down there for the presentations, but your thoughts on a pretty epic game?
Perfect ending. That's exactly how we love to see baseball games be played, and Sturt, as the best team all year, showed tonight in the pressure situations they could get it done and come away with the premiership.
An unbelievable game. Sturt had to come from behind. They were down 2-0 in the 7th. It wasn't sexy. It was a sacrifice fly that won it, but they'll take it any way it comes.
Doesn't matter how you get them, just get them.
A fantastic game, and we thank you for joining us on the coverage all season long. The team's about to shake hands. Sturt are your winners. 3-2 in extra innings. On behalf of Michael Dunn and Spacequake Sports, I'm Eric Ballnar. Thanks for tuning in to baseball all season long, and congratulations to Sturt.